Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the podcast that never sleeps. The live hour we see you. That's why we're starting, baby. So we got a really fun show planned today. Jared, if I'm lying, I'm dying.
Yeah.
We got the goods today, am I right?
I'll kill you. Yeah.
Oh my God, by the way, I want to tell you something about Tombstone, but tell me what you'll be diving into today, my friend.
Dude, so we had talked about the missing 411 phenomenon on this show before.
Yeah.
And if you're not familiar with it, that's fine. There is thousands of people that go missing every year under strange circumstances. I don't mean just like, oh, we couldn't find them. I'm talking the most strange of circumstances.
Yeah,
There's a subset of these missing people that are amnesia cases. They disappear, they're found miles, sometimes states away from where they were last seen. Dogs, no scent, airplanes in the air, Coast Guard called it, hundreds of people searching, and then they show up and they don't remember who they are. They don't know where they are, and no one knows how they got to where they are. We're going to dive into that subset today. I'm going to tell you some creepy stories about some missing people that have suffered amnesia and from where they started to where they ended up.
I love it. I dig it. I'm with it. So I actually, I'm talking about, I don't want to say his name because if you know his name, I don't want to spoil it. It's a surprise. So it's somebody who is
You gotta tell
curious
the name.
gentleman.
We gotta know the name.
Should I say the name?
Yeah.
Has anybody heard of Kenneth Copeland?
Cool. I don't know his name, so.
For those who have, they know exactly where I'm going with this. So he's an onion, and we're gonna peel back a lot of layers.
Nice.
It's gonna be a lot of fun because it is just so bonkers, bananas, crazy, wild.
Yeah, we love that here.
We do.
We
fans.
love it.
We're fans of the bonkers.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What do you say? We just jump in, yeah?
Let's do it, man.
Cool. Let's do it. So, man, I got my disappointed face on. You like the end of Loki season 2?
Yeah.
Him with the green time. It sounds like something I would make up. It really does. But it's real.
A ghost, a ghoul, a goblin, a monster.
I heard
a
Joe
werewolf.
Went on and wrote in the comments. I was gonna say that came out great.
You're off to a great start.
Yeah. We got some fun stuff planned today. We got some goods. We do. We got the goods. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the podcast Never Sleeps. I'm your host, Cameron. With me always is Jared. So we got a very good show today, and I'm very excited.
Yeah.
First, I wanted to say, dude, somebody tried to argue with me.
About
and
what?
they said, I was talking about like Tombstone or something. And they're like, what's the most famous line from Tombstone? I'm like, oh, he's setting me up for something here. And I said,
Well, that's like debatable.
clearly, right?
Yeah.
But what would your answer be?
I'm your Huckleberry. Probably something from Doc Holliday.
He said, yeah, no, it's I'm your hucklebearer. I said, what?
No, he says different types of like flowers and stuff.
I said, what do you mean?
You're a daisy if you do.
I said, what do you mean hucklebearer? And he's like, yeah, a hucklebearer, because a huckle is the name of a buckle on a casket or whatever, and the bearer like a pallbearer. I'm like, I don't think that's
No,
anything.
that's not the line.
So there is a term called like a huckle and a bearer, but I looked it up online and it's like, I typed it in. Does Doc Holliday in Tombstone say Huckleberry? Huckleberry's like, and then the first thing that pops up, anyone saying it's Hucklebearer is wrong.
Yeah.
He says Huckleberry.
Yeah.
It's in the screenplay. Val Kilmer's spoken about it.
He's even said like, and he says Daisy. He calls people that. I mean, that's.
I get you're Daisy if you do. Yeah. I'm your Hucklebearer.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. No.
You're gonna be a bearer at my funeral?
Yeah,
The
no
fuck?
Daisy at all. That's
What are you
the
talking
best.
about? So yeah, anyway, that pissed me off. But this sounds like it's going to be a good show. It is, dude. It is. So yeah, I was annoyed. I was frustrated because this is a movie I care about and I love, and I can quote back to front.
Yeah.
And he's trying to tell me that I've been misquoting it my whole life. Wrong, sir.
No.
He's wrong,
Yeah.
and for shame. And so yeah, that pissed me off.
So that's stupid. Well,
Yeah.
that's a stupid argument.
Tell me a stupid argument you got into.
No, I wanted to say
Okay.
how fun when we were talking earlier about Green Goblin and like how probably most of his scenes had to be him riffing because like there's just these moments that you can't write, like when the blade comes out and he does the like the whistle and gives him that look, the facial expressions, and dude, it's impossible to write that.
You can't be like Willem. So in the script you see it says here go.
Yeah, exactly. He does these great faces. You know everything that he's thinking and going through his mind. That when he's getting hit full hard, like Spider-Man is
Because he
ridiculous.
always
strong.
has to pull his punches, Spider-Man.
But not with Green Goblin. And he was taking the full force of Spider-Man and laughed in his face. Yeah. And I love that he does the whole like, you'll thank me later, and that we're gods and we're above them, and he's very Red Skull, and we've left humanity behind, Captain.
Yeah.
I just love
your impression of Red Skull is Arnim Zola.
No, it's a little different.
Captain.
We've left humanity behind, Captain. That's not my Zola. My Zola is more like, I'm actually Swiss.
You changed your Zola just now.
Well, what's the Zola like? What's the Zola line?
Well, no, dude, Red Skull.
I've been doing. Yes, Captain. You think I was? This whole time I've been stalling.
That's the same. And now do Red Skull.
Red Skull is. You failed to recognize we've left humanity behind, Captain.
It's the same thing.
No, it's more throaty.
German versus Swiss.
It's more throaty. Yeah.
Okay.
Zola's very
would know.
He's like this guy. Oh, so it's very nice.
No, he's not.
I would not eat a poisoned steak.
It wasn't one poison.
Red Skull.
Anyway.
I finished building your weapons.
Anyway, so that short we put out about the Loki theory got good reception. Some people, the first comment that was ever left, like 2 minutes in, it was like, it was some girl, and she's like, yeah, no.
So this is the fun part about that. So if you watch the freaking movie,
Well, explain
the very first. So we posed the theory that in Loki's final moments. Now, this is the most cryptic thing you could say to somebody before you die.
It's the most specific, cryptic, yeah.
The sun will shine on us again, brother. I assure you, the sun will shine on us. That is not anything. That is a cryptic sentence.
Asgard had like they worship their sun, like the Asgardian sun will shine on. That means like we'll get home again or something.
No.
That could make some sort of sense.
Nothing like that.
To say, but go on, yeah, please.
Yeah, so it's very cryptic. It's a cryptic message.
It's a message.
And if you take it for it being a cryptic message, what is the first thing Thor does as soon as he's in a ship?
Can I tell you? No. Can I tell you what he does?
Yeah.
So first thing he does is he wakes up after being exploded. He wakes up on the wind once they bring him in. What's her face wakes him up.
Yeah.
Antenna girl, Mantis. He wakes up. First thing he does is he's like, "Who the hell are you guys?"
Yeah.
And then he talks to them, and because Gamora is the daughter of Thanos.
Yeah.
And then he says, "Families are hard." Starts talking about family.
Yeah.
Then he goes and looks at his spoon. He says, "I don't need a spoon. I need a hammer."
Yeah. The first thing he thinks to do.
As soon as he starts talking about his family, the first thing he thinks
he wants to kill Thanos. He doesn't go to where Thanos is going to be. Yeah. He knows where he's going. He already says, I know where he's going to be next. I left the reality.
But it's funny, as soon as they start talking about, and you know what, Jared, just for shits and gigs, we might as well call this a Marvel Minute.
Yeah, so let's do that. So people that in the chat, because there were a few people that were like, I think this is kind of a stretch.
Yeah.
How?
You guys got to realize that Marvel, they just write shit down.
No.
But they don't.
They don't.
Especially
Everything
back then.
is so
Phase
meticulous.
3. Yeah, it's brilliant.
Every line and every face that they make and the pondering. There's so much to it.
Yeah,
but in this specific scene, that is a very cryptic thing to say to someone right before you know you're going to die. So you're trying to give him a message, but you can't let Thanos know he's going to go to Nidavellir. That is the one thing you can't let him, because then he'll beat him there and he will kill him.
Nidavellir.
Sure.
I just learned that.
Yeah, it sounds like Nidavellir when they say it.
When they say it.
It might be a silent D.
Nidavellir.
Yeah.
It's Nidavellir.
But but that's the first thing. So he says this cryptic message, which the sun will shine on us again. Think sun, think star, think weapons built from stars. You have no hammer.
And a point I made that I realized after the fact is he was pretending to be Odin that whole time. So if anybody would know that Nidavellir got destroyed, it would be Odin, but Loki is Odin, right? If anybody were to find out.
He might. I don't know.
An Asgardian. I think he did. Well, check it out. I think an Asgardian messenger came up to him and he's like, "By the way, sir, Nidavellir was destroyed," and blah blah blah. He's like, "Oh, I'm eating grapes. I'm pretending to be Odin." But check this out. Well, hear this out. Here's why I say this is because he says the sun will shine again.
Yeah, and the scene is a star directly shining on him.
It's a dead sun that needs to be restarted.
Yeah.
The sun will shine on us again. The sun will shine again.
It's not that big of a stretch.
It's not a stretch at all.
To take
It
a
actually-
cryptic message.
It's the only way that
Yeah.
term makes sense to say that to Thor.
Right, and
he should say,
has a sunshine.
"We will meet Father in Valhalla together, brother." Any fucking thing else than the sun will shine on us again.
That is a very cryptic thing to say, and it directly results in him being hit by the shining light of a star to create a weapon. The only thing that can kill Thanos. It is a cryptic message, and it is an Easter egg, and it is for sure one leads to the next. So I don't think it's a stretch. I don't think so.
I don't think so. The more I looked into it, the more I realized, oh my,
It makes
this
sense.
all adds up.
Yeah.
And they didn't need to explain it to us. Wait, my brother said the sun was shining on us
No,
again. He must
stupid.
be meaning I must go to Nidavellir.
No, the people that pick up on it, that's the joy of those moments. You don't need to know. You can still enjoy the film without knowing
100%.
But
Chase back, what up, boy?
You enjoy it more if you do.
I say we jump into Camo segment. You want to jump into your boy segment?
Yeah.
Okay. So
What is it? What
it's,
kind?
It's a little segment I like to call. Why so meme?
That's funny, yeah.
Why? Oh wait, actually, I prefer this music for this. Why so meme?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why so meme? Why so meme? Why so meme?
So we're going to learn about another very interesting person, I can tell.
Yes. So why so meme? We're going to learn about a very interesting person. So I asked at the beginning of the show, Jared, and the audience, tell us, everybody watching live, have you heard of Kenneth Copeland?
No.
No.
I may have seen him and not known it.
You have for sure have. There's one clip that went viral that sort of made him, what's the term? Into a meme.
Okay.
Perhaps. So let's hear about this guy. And chat, I do want to know if you've heard of Kenneth Copeland.
So he's a meme motherfucker.
Yeah. I don't know why he's so meme, but he is. Actually, I do know why. And I'll explain in just a moment. So, all right, here we go. All right, so I got.
Oh, that is not what I expected him to look like.
Well, hold on. The audience gets it yet, so hold on. Okay, so let's hear about our homie, Kenny Cope.
Yeah, I did not expect this.
Of practice, thanks in part to his childhood participation singing in church. But as he matured into a teenager, he claims he grew further and further away.
So this is just a young man, and today, let's.
And we had recently done a segment about angels, which is cool.
Well,
last
that's
week.
what I want to say. So yesterday we spoke, or I'm sorry, last week we spoke about angels, and this week we're speaking about a man who pretends he is one.
Oh,
when
he thinks
might be
he's
the
an
opposite.
angel.
He thinks he's a prophet. He thinks he is that God speaks to him directly.
And who are we to say that he doesn't?
Well, nobody.
Let's see.
This is Kenny Copeland.
Let's
brother.
see what his prophecies are, and then we can decide.
So right now he's a very popular.
Does the Pope recognize him as a prophet? Does the church recognize him as
a problem? Oh, prophet. Oh yeah,
As
one of the
something?
two.
Okay.
One of the two. I'm sure. Sounds familiar, D. Lavar. Thank you. Okay, cool. So let's see. I mean, so this is his backstory. He's a preacher now. We know that much. So let's hear about him a little bit.
his
before
God.
that.
By the time he was in his early 20s, he was singing pop music in nightclubs. He was so good that he caught the ears of executives at Imperial Records.
Oh,
He signed a
fancy
contract
stuff.
with the recording company, and things were looking bright for young Kenneth.
I'm
And they
stuck
were
in
about to get
Folsom
even
Prison.
better.
Yeah.
In October
covers.
of 1955, he married Ivy Bodiford, and 2 years later, they welcomed their daughter, Terry.
Oh, good for them. God
That
bless.
was the
God bless.
same year that Kenneth's music career
And
reached
time
new
keeps
heights.
striking.
One of his songs,
We get
titled
it, we
Pledge
get
of Love, hit the Billboard Top 40 and stayed
Okay.
there for 15 weeks
I
after
don't know
peaking
this-
at number
this jam, but
17 on the
that's
chart.
Oh,
pretty good.
You might.
I love you so, I can't let you go. I must make you see, you mean more to me.
Oh, it's
than
too
each
basic.
beat.
It's every song ever. Yeah. In that time.
If you were dying, that's the song you'd sing.
Yep.
That same old preacher
Pledge
so
of
and
Love
so
went
song
gold
we've heard a
and
million
was charting
times.
alongside another young man who was new on the scene, Elvis Presley.
Elvie
But on the day
Press?
Pledge of Love was released, Kenneth was drafted into the military.
On the day it was
Elvis would
released.
follow only 2 years later.
You
in
got some against the
1957.
military?
Yeah, I do. So that was him. And then
Come of the world
our boy
is the cry.
got back from the war, and
Okay.
he's like, you know what? I'm gonna start
Will you
preaching.
join me in a word of prayer?
Let's do
please?
God's work, baby.
Our Heavenly Father, in the name of Jesus, we thank you for the privilege
Look at him.
of
Sweet
declaring the Lordship of
God
Jesus
bless.
Yeah.
on the great medium of television. And we
Oh,
praise you
yes,
for
sir.
it, and we thank you for it. In Jesus' name,
Amen.
amen.
So this seems old.
I
This
want
is
you
like
to
what, the
join me if
60s?
you have your
1971.
Okay. Reading
Yeah. So yeah, right after the 60s, 1971. So he's
Okay.
like, you know what? I want to be a preacher, and I want to help people. right?
Okay.
And I want to be a man of faith, a man of God.
Okay.
And so he pursued this career. And you're wondering, Cameron, what are you talking about? How is he a meme then? He seems like a lovely, sweet.
Where's he go?
sweetheart, yeah.
Astray.
Does he go astray? I don't know. Is that what we're talking about? I don't know. Maybe he's just a lovely guy, and that's all I'm pointing out. And that's the end of my segment. Who knows? No, there is more. So, okay. So, be afraid, be very afraid. So, no, we're just going to talk about Mr. Copeland a little bit more recently.
Okay.
So now-
he kept doing the televangelist thing, and he's still doing it.
Still doing it.
Oh wow. Gotta be
Still
pretty
running
up
hell.
there
Roberts
in the
University in
years.
Tulsa, Oklahoma. He worked there as a pilot and chauffeur for Roberts himself. He describes wanting to preach while standing in a dried up riverbed. This was then. Now he has a 500 employee strong operation with a budget in the tens of millions. KCP, or Kenneth Copeland Ministries, is organized under the tax code as a church, so it gets a layer of privacy which is never afforded to secular nonprofit groups.
Yeah.
None of the budgets and salaries of the KCP have to be disclosed. Copeland's current
that's a
salary is not
weird,
public. However,
thing they
the
do.
church did disclose that his wages were $370,000 way back in 1995, while his wife earned $300,000.
In 95.
This, too, was only revealed in
Yeah.
a property tax exemption application. People from the church have always claimed that no one improperly benefits from ties to Copeland and his vast evangelical ministry. The ministry currently has 600,000 subscribers in a total of 134 countries. While Copeland
Okay.
also insists that his church complies with the law, various tax
And he's on
experts have
TV
reviewed information
still?
and determined they have
Televangelist,
serious
yep.
doubts of this claim. Wealth and lifestyle.
Oof.
The evangelist is reportedly worth more than $750 million.
Oh my
He lives in a house worth
goodness.
$6 million and is owned by the church. He jets all around the world in a $17.5 million plane.
Oh,
The preacher has a notorious habit of preying on the vulnerable and making outrageously tall claims, such as his recent
He
statement
invented
about
the
private
question
jets.
mark.
Copeland had the gall to suggest that commercial jets are filled to the brim with demons, and hence he has to take private jets to move around in the world.
Oh, there you go. That makes sense.
Oh, Bubba. That's a crazy thing to say.
Aren't the demons you're talking about the people you're trying to preach to? Isn't that the public? That's kind of,
Yeah.
I don't like that.
No, it's not good. So, but what does he mean? Like,
I can't be surrounded by these lesser people. Like, that's rough.
if he called them lesser people, that wouldn't be as bad as what he did.
What?
Yeah. He's yeah. So here's what they're referring to. This is
So
I
he's
gotta
like
pull up the time
Newland. What's his name from True Blood?
Oh yeah, Newland, exactly.
He's the best.
Yeah. Well, define best. So check this out.
Isn't it true that you want to fly commercial so that you can fly in luxury? How much money did you pay for Tyler Perry's Gulfstream jet, for example?
Well, for example, that's really none of your business. But,
Isn't it the business of your donors?
listen, I paid. Kind of caught me off guard here, okay?
He's like,
Don't
"Shit,
say that out
I'm scared
loud."
to say how much it was.
Yeah, I paid two. Yeah, it was Tyler Perry's jet. So he went from singer, wanted to be,
Yeah.
wanted to make it, right? Wanted to be the next Elvis, and then Elvis, or wanted to be the first Elvis, and then Elvis came along and was the first Elvis, and then he was in the military,
Yeah.
came out. He's like, oh, instead of doing that, I'll become a televangelist.
So we did an episode about the Vatican archives, and in that episode, we had a statistic that showed that most of these organizations, only about 6% of the money goes to actual programs,
actual
that help
philanthropic
people.
programs.
Isn't that's pretty low?
Well, then, Jared, where's the rest of the money going?
Well, I think we're seeing it. I think he was that a phantom he was leaning out of. Like he was
I think it was an Escalade.
talking about his jet.
Sorry, you caught me off guard. How much for which one of the which things? Yeah. But so he even has the face of like a demon. I'm not
That's
calling him a
funny.
demon.
Right.
But he has an evil face.
Okay.
You see that face.
Yeah, I know what you mean. He looks like a con artist.
He does, but when I say an evil face, wait, we're gonna get to a part where you'll be like, "Oh, Cameron, oh, this is what you meant."
That boy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
He's got a
Willem Dafoe.
Defoe face.
Well, let me just ask you a really simple question. A
'Cause
lot of
Defoe's
people
got an
think
evil
it's
face.
unbecoming for a preacher to live a life of luxury and to fly around in private jets.
Stop it.
What's your response to that?
Fuck them losers.
Very simple. It takes a lot of money to do what we do. Without the airplane that we have that I bought from Tyler Perry, and I didn't pay anywhere. And Tyler's one of the greatest guys. He made that airplane so cheap for me, I couldn't help but buy it.
My
Oh.
question then, okay, all right, but I want to get to the demons because people are very concerned about that
What
comment.
does she mean, demons?
Chance here inside edition. I love your eyes.
Again, getting back to the comment.
Yeah.
You said that you don't like to fly commercial
Someone's
because
laughing.
you don't want to get into a tube with a bunch of demons. Do you really believe that human beings are demons?
called them
No, I do not.
demons.
And don't you ever say I did.
Look at this demon.
We wrestle not.
Oh.
Is that the creepiest fucking thing you've ever seen?
Dude, his eyes blinked
Can you
sideways, I
explain
think.
what you meant by that?
Dude, look at this though. Look at this change.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to get into a tube with a bunch of demons. Do you really believe that human beings are demons?
No, I do not. And don't you ever say I did. We wrestle not with
And then
flesh
the
and blood,
smile.
but principalities and powers.
Can you
Can you explain what the fuck you're
Yeah.
on about? No, I didn't. And don't you ever say I did.
Were you about to strike me, sir?
Yeah. Don't you ever say. No, but he does the. No, I didn't. Don't you ever say I did.
That's some neat
And then he
trick.
likes enough with the
I
fucking
can't.
Green Goblin.
He's
Willem
Green
Dafoe.
Goblin.
He sort of is.
Right?
But dude, how scary is that from the angry? And don't you ever say I did.
Dude, he went from 0 to 100 so fast. Like, I would be afraid to work for him.
Oh fuck yeah! And then he went back to like, oh yeah, I'm on TV. I gotta remember.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta
Don't you
pretend to do this. Yeah, a woman saying to a man. Yeah, you can
got
tell
hit,
that's
man.
those are his ideals. So he's scary. He's
Yeah, that was a scary
That's
moment.
a scary moment
Yeah.
for a human being.
And he
Especially-
still never told us how much the jet was.
no.
He made it so cheap. I had to buy it. Come on.
That's the craziest thing to say.
That's the best thing to say.
It's just sort of
Yeah,
amazing. Tyler Perry, yeah, the famous Hollywood movie director.
Yeah.
From great films such as Boo,
Yeah, a very
Medea,
wealthy
Halloween.
man. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He made the goddamn airplane so cheap I could not buy it. That's bonkers to say.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And my reasoning was because other planes are filled with demons.
Yeah. Dude, he goes into it though. We'll hear a little bit about it. Man, is this guy something?
explain what
that's
you
a
meant
meme right
by
there, the
that, by
pointing.
that term?
This
then.
is
just
this is
explain
the
because
meme
it's
part
really simple.
specifically,
You said you
for
didn't
sure.
want to get into.
But there's a
tube
couple
with
of them.
bunch
No, this is one of
demons. What did you mean?
three memes.
What did you meme?
You think that people that fly commercial are demons?
Give me a chance to talk.
Or Dean
sweetheart.
memes.
I'll explain this to you. But it's a biblical thing. It's a spiritual thing. It doesn't have anything to do with people.
Sure, sweetie.
Oh.
People, I love people. Jesus loves people.
Jesus.
But people get pushed in alcohol. Do you think that's a good place for a preacher to be and prepare to go preach to a lot of people?
No,
When
you're
someone
right.
in there is
You're right. You need a private jet. You're so right. I get it now. There might be someone drinking on the plane, so you need a private
this
jet.
is silly.
Gio,
Isn't that
what-
where you're needed most? Where people are having problems?
This is the
Maybe
thing,
that's where
people
you're needed.
People don't understand. Like, and he even says at some point, I don't even know if I have it in my footage because it was so bizarre. But they're even talking about like, if Jesus was here today, he wouldn't be saying talking about social issues and this. And that. Like, wait, what are you talking about? All he was saying was, give up your worldly possessions. Like the rich are the enemies of man and
That's
of
great.
the Lord.
Yeah.
Like everything you stand for, he's against.
Not to measure
So-
your life in those types of commodities.
No, it's
Yeah.
to sell your worldly possessions and go around and help people.
Yeah.
And be a community.
Yeah, he would wash people's feet and stuff.
Bring the lesser up. Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. Not, oh, I can't be with these. What if this guy drinks? Can you imagine?
Yeah.
While
Instead
while
of me
Jesus is turning
helping
water to
him.
wine.
Yeah.
Like, fucking, what are you talking about? But, so GL asked, buzzing a little bit, what the hell are we talking about tonight, fellas? So, and then he said, the car costs more than anything you guys have.
Right?
I know.
Yeah,
It's a piece
that
of
thing's
shit.
a fortune.
So what we're talking about this
GL.
person,
Yeah.
Kenneth Copeland, who is a unique character, and then Jared's talking about people who go missing and then have amnesia and have no idea
Yeah.
what happened.
Missing for
How'd they
long
get
periods of
where
time,
they
or
got.
they appear miles, states away from where they went missing, and they don't even know who they are when they wake up.
Which would be like my biggest fear.
That's the scariest thing ever.
Ever.
And the idea that it's not just a few stories. I'll tell a few stories, but there are probably 100 of them. It's scary.
reported, because some, who knows, people are just like, I don't want to talk about
Well,
this
I
shit.
mean, it is a big deal when someone goes missing. There's usually a big report about it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of searchers and Coast Guard. So usually news picks up on those big searches. When these people are found with amnesia, that's a big story.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of data out there about these types of cases, but there's just so many of them. That's why we're going to talk about
Which
it.
is
'Cause
so
that's
bizarre.
yeah.
But yeah, we'll get there.
It's phenomenal.
And by the way, guys, the show's not over or not even close. I just want to tell you there are chapters. Make
Yeah.
sure you hit that like button. Make sure you are subscribed if you're not already. Hit that like button right this moment, right now. That's it. Takes 2 seconds. It's but I'm in my car and I'm driving. Hit it, baby. So wait for a red light and beep. Yeah, and also. Like I said, we do have chapters. So if you're like, damn, that sounds really fascinating about the amnesia thing. Let me skip this Ken Copeland stuff. Skip. Hey, and then if you want to come back to it afterward, baby, go for it.
We had
and
some
then,
Marvel discussion early in the show.
yeah, we also got a
Yeah.
conspiracy corner.
We do.
coming
Got
up,
conspiracy
okay?
theories coming up. So
if you want to skip right to that, who knows, man? Maybe it's the coolest segment in the
it's a
world. We
good
don't know.
one. I'm not gonna lie. This conspiracy corner is gonna be
So
fun.
we got all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, chapters. Like, subscribe. We have a Patreon, and we do our TikTok after show after every episode. So make sure you go join us on TikTok for that. Those are a lot of fun, a lot more personal.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to the show. So,
Yeah.
Mr. Kenneth Copeland, let's talk a little bit more about our friend here.
Why do these guys always end up with so much money and showing it like it's no big deal?
Yeah, because they're like tax
People
exempt and
don't mind. And they still keep giving them money. Isn't that weird? Isn't there something weird about that?
It begs the question, who's... I mean, yes, it's wrong for these people to prey on these people, right?
Yeah.
For these televangelists and to prey on these poor people.
But even after it's exposed that they're millionaires, he's almost worth $1 billion.
because it's these stories like, no, listening to him brought me to Jesus, and Jesus changed my life.
So he deserves to be wealthy,
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems like the opposite of what it's supposed to be.
They'll justify what they need to make it seem like they're not throwing their money away.
How are there so many of these guys, though? There's
There's
so many
so
rich
many.
guys that do this.
Like multi,
Yeah.
tens of millions, hundreds of millions.
And there's been them for decades.
forever.
Yeah,
forever.
they never stop.
It's
until they
crazy.
die.
And then their children pick it up.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
so crazy.
Yeah.
Like Joel Osteen, all these guys are like, man, it's just... if you really can speak to God, that's amazing. Well, number one, okay?
Yeah.
But if you can really speak to God, then do it in a beautiful way where you have your sermon, your church, and the few lucky people that come to that.
And there are
that
those
area.
people. There are a lot of those good people out there. GL, that's awesome, man. We
up?
appreciate that. He's going to create a TikTok for his dog so that he's able to join the after shows.
That'd be awesome, brother.
That's cool.
You on the after show would be very freaking
Yeah.
cool. You and Chase are would ideally be two people would really like to discuss further stuff with on
Yeah.
the after show. But okay, so where did we leave off here? So we're talking about the lifestyle. So 6354. All right.
Dragging some woman down an aisle. It made me so mad to see that on television. I wanted to punch the guy out myself. I can't be doing that
Who
while
knows
I'm
what
getting
he's
ready to
talking about.
preach.
When was a woman dragged down an aisle that you watched on? Like, and this is
There's a smile after.
what do you?
You just don't like to be around the sinful people or the hurtful people. Is that what
That
you're
need
saying?
you the most.
People, baby, not the people.
baby?
God.
To those critics that
Yeah.
say,
Shit.
Yeah.
How
cut
do I
there.
spin this fucking one?
Yeah, this is tough.
Yeah.
I should have
that
got
a
back in
preacher
the
should
car.
not be living a life of luxury. What is your response to that?
Don't you ever say I did.
They're wrong. He doesn't even care.
Yeah.
The Bible also says that it's more difficult for a rich man to get into heaven than it is for a camel to
Oh yeah, through the eye of a yeah.
get through the eye of a needle, correct?
The rest of the scripture. But he said, all things are possible with God.
Did God say?
Boom.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, mic drop.
Winner.
Yeah. So yeah.
We all trust
Next
you
line
now.
of questioning. Yeah.
You've won
Gotcha.
us over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool, buddy.
Yeah.
Moving on. Yeah. So
I had a top 40 hit. Like, all things are possible.
yeah, I don't think. Oh, sweet tits. I don't think you get
Yeah,
it.
what is with all the
I don't know.
pet names?
I don't
That's
know.
frustrating.
Oh, and she's like, "Sir, so it seems
to deal with
you're
it.
it seems you're a maniac in that you are stealing from the people that donate to you. You got lovely eyes.
Yeah.
Hold on. Oh, and there is a part, and I'll play it a little later because that is the big memed part.
Okay.
But it's where he says, he's like, compliments her eyes, and then it's just inappropriate, awkward for everyone.
You just don't like the fact that we've left humanity behind,
Yeah.
Captain.
Oh, sweet tits, you got some DSLs on you. Look at that.
Yeah.
Ain't that a lovely thing?
If he said that, that would just be.
That would be.
He would get way more money, probably.
I'd start giving him money, and there's no doubt about that. I would start. Yeah. Why not?
No, I don't think there's anything these guys can really do. Because there was like those guys that were building like camps where everyone would give all their money away, and then their lives were ruined, and they would still come back, and everyone would still give up all their money and do
think
it.
about like what was
Like there's a bunch of those guys.
John
Some of them go to
Jones.
prison.
What's his name?
They get out and they still
what's
get
his name?
back to work.
Jonestown.
Yeah, but not
What's his
him.
name though? I want to see John Jones, but that's
But
John
that's
Bones.
yeah,
Jones.
that's.
It's
But no, there's that one guy who's still around who went to prison for what he was doing. He built like a whole like
bunch of these
carnival
guys.
land for his followers, and it was just a way to like steal money and
Carnival land.
They were all investing
Sounds
in what
fun.
was going to be this great thing, and he was just stealing all the money. Went to jail for it. When he got out, no time at all. He was back to being a multimillionaire because of all the donations and all of his followers.
I know
came right
who
back.
you are talking about.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
yeah.
he says awful things. He is like very like he's against everything. He's the worst. Yeah,
Former Grandmaster of the Triple K,
basically.
David Duke. That's who you're talking about.
No, but dude, he says stuff like that.
Yeah.
He's pretty awful.
I mean, it's just my opinion, but I believe
The pandemic was caused by, blah, this and that, anything that wasn't,
Well, Kenneth Copeland might have actually solved COVID.
Okay.
Yeah, let's not forget that. So
Okay.
let's put a pin in
Yeah, there were a few of those guys during that time that said the reason this is happening is because of, and would point at certain groups. It's ridiculous.
Well, guys, we know the only reason that COVID's happening is because the Greeks.
That'd be a weird one to choose.
Yeah, I figured that I'd get the least flack for that.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. The only group you can make fun of these days are
And
Italians.
They actually had a hard time with COVID though.
Yeah, no. The only group you can make fun of these days is Italians.
Okay.
Because Italians don't care, and everybody's cool with Italians. They're like, pasta fagioli. Like, what are you really gonna say? Oh, I'm a gangster. I'll beat you with a baseball bat. It's like that's sort of dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's nothing bad to say.
Okay.
Yeah, so everybody can talk shit on Italians. So let's see what else. Kenny, buddy, Bubba, sweetie.
Yeah.
What else you got for us? What else?
you need help feeding your babies, God bless your darling heart, then you ought to be helped. But I'm going to tell you something, you need to be tithing off that help.
Yikes.
That's your increase. You need to be tithing that. Well, dear Lord, Brother Copeland, I'm in poverty
I found
now.
him.
I know.
Hold on, look.
I'm telling you how to get out.
You missed so much good shit just now. Hold on.
I was gonna.
I
I wanted
know,
to answer,
but hold on.
You
Livewire's
need to be
question.
tithing that. Well, dear Lord, Brother Copeland, I'm in poverty now. I know it. I'm
I
telling
know
you
it.
how to get out.
Thanks to me.
That's
Yeah.
the gospel. I don't care if you ain't got but 2 nickels. Give him the first one. Oh, yeah. For he has anointed me to do what? Preach the gospel to the poor. That's what the poor must hear. And in the gospel, giving is at the heart of
He's like trying to come up with
breaking the curse of poverty.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Watch what false teacher
He was
Kenneth
like
Copeland
proud of
does, and
himself
then
for
watch
like being
Pastor
able to
Paul
bring that
Washer.
one, like land that plane.
Land that plane because he was like,
Yeah.
and because of, but what do you got for D-Live? Are you saying?
So it's Billy Graham, I think is who I'm thinking of, and then there's a few. No, Pat Robertson. That's who it is.
Okay.
He went to jail. He did like prison time. I think that's who it is. And then got right back on that train and became like a multimillionaire. He sells like the food buckets. So that
fuck is a food bucket?
Everybody has to be prepared for when the world.
Oh, he's like a doomsday
ends.
prepper.
Yeah, so you got to get all the prepper stuff. And
How do you feel about that prepper stuff? Is that crazy or like you sort of with it?
I don't think there's ever a reason to not prepare. So
That's well put.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
can do it, do it. You should be.
But
prepared.
everyone can, should they though?
yeah,
Canned foods, water bottles.
yeah. Always prepare. I mean, the world's in a weird place, and there's a lot of stuff going on. Always.
Yeah.
There's these constant conflicts, and for some reason, we're not able to solve them, and we're not pushing in those directions a lot of the time. So yes, prepare for the worst. I always think that's a good idea. Be smart.
So hope for the best, prepare for the worst is your philosophy. So
Yeah, or try and do something to make things better, but still be prepared. You know? Yeah. Like I saw this. I saw the speech, the Bobby Kennedy speech when MLK was killed. That was one of the greatest speeches I've ever seen.
I don't remember.
It's
what comes from
unreal,
that? What
dude.
does
So
that say?
he's in. So this is a good
So
story.
this is Bobby Kennedy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Bobby Kennedy, he's going around doing his campaign speeches because he wants to be the presidential nominee for the Democratic Party.
Sure.
And he's in Indianapolis. MLK is killed, and the people that he's about to speak to, I think it's a black church. They don't know yet because it's not the internet, right?
Oh,
they haven't heard the news. Some people have. The sheriffs tell him you can't go in there.
cannot
They will
do
kill
that,
you.
brother. Yeah.
And they're like, we're not going in. You'll have no protection.
But it's Bobby Kennedy.
And Bobby
brother.
was close with MLK
You
and
know
the civil
he
rights
walked up in
movement.
there.
He goes in there.
You know he
with
fucking
no
went in
protection.
there.
Yep.
You know he
Yeah,
did.
dude. Bobby was a
Gangster.
and what happened to his brother? It only strengthened his resolve, right? So he goes and he had never spoken about his brother's murder
Assassination.
to anyone.
Yeah.
So he gets up there and he says, and he quiets the crowd. He goes, "Would you quiet down for a moment, please?
He related.
Put
to
the
his
signs
brother.
down, please." And he says, "I have bad news. Earlier tonight, Dr. Martin Luther King was shot and killed."
And they erupted.
And the entire crowd is, they're gasping and screaming and crying. Like it's just an immediate response. The whole place goes into complete.
Could you imagine that time frame, especially being an African American?
He's leading this
leading this
peaceful
movement.
Yeah,
a peaceful fucking movement.
Trying to.
Because there's Malcolm X too, who's leading a more forceful movement. He's
Right.
like, if they're not going to give it to us, we're going to fucking take it.
yeah. Which both sides had needed to be. I mean,
It's
for
yin
them
and
to-
yang.
yeah,
It's yin and
yeah,
yang.
you had the balance.
It's balance. It was essential. But I just had a deja vu. That's so
Yeah.
fucking weird. But no, for him to come in and say, "Hey, yeah, this peaceful guy who we all looked up to and appreciated, who was saying and fighting for things that we cared about." Yeah,
Dude, it's his
they
next few
took-
words
they
that are
took
the
him out.
hardest. So he says this, and they all start screaming and crying,
course
and
they
they can't
do.
believe it. And he's this white man standing there, and he goes now. He's like, we can. He was killed by a white man, and he says, and we can let the death of Martin Luther, the murder of Martin Luther King, make us angry.
And
We
tear
can
us
let
apart.
it make us vengeful. We can let us tear us apart. Yeah, and turn us against each other.
Or do what he wanted us.
Or we can make this country better and do it differently. And we can use this as a way to move in the country in a better direction, more peaceful direction.
Follow his words. Yeah.
And he says, my own brother was killed by a white man. He's like, so I feel some of the pain that you're feeling here. And then he never had spoken about it before. Yeah. And he says, but yeah. And afterwards, he does this prayer at the end of his speech. Yeah. And he tells everybody, please, he's like, go home tonight and pray and hope for a better future. Okay. And that night, the only major city that didn't riot after Martin Luther King's death was Indianapolis because of that, because of Bobby's words and because of what he said to those people. Yeah.
But the cadence you had off a little bit.
Okay.
He said, and my brother was killed by the white man.
Yeah, if he would have said it that way, that'd be strange.
Great. No, that'd be hysterical.
No, dude, that speech will bring you to tears when you hear the audience reaction.
Especially him relating back
right
to his
there,
brother.
Off the cuff, just to be able to say, we can use it to be vengeful and to want to hurt them people.
And that's the instinct, yeah.
But or we can do it. We can do better. And it's so great. It'll move you to tears. Yeah. So watch that if you get a chance.
Yeah, no,
it's amazing. Yeah.
What do we got in the chat, man?
A lot of stuff. Let's see. The private jet, the car, the property, the churches that owns this house.
Yeah, we're still,
He shouldn't have that much money.
Nope.
And then when D Livewire asked who I was talking about, I named a couple of televangelists that I think are, really similar to this guy. And Chase says, there's some scary-ish going on. GL says MLK originally was there to make black people stop fighting for what they needed, but to be passive and turn the other cheek. So, in the spirit of what we're talking about, as far as preaching, because he was a preacher. GL says, I believe it. And that Malcolm X was the one who saw the...
CTB said, I believe it's a GL.
Yeah. And he says that
Malcolm X
he got killed because he saw if you make everybody come together is the only way to live righteously, which is very true. I think, division between people is what's been holding our humankind back. That is our biggest
Come
flaw.
together right now over me. By the way, that Ringo... nobody says Ringo's a great drummer. Ringo Starr from Beatles, right?
Yeah, people
nobody
do.
Says,
they think he's amazing.
I don't know.
Ringo, I've heard him talked about. So I've listened to countless drummers.
I don't know any drummer that says,
countless drummers.
Ringo's the shit.
On Stern, because Stern's the biggest Beatles fan.
That's probably why.
Always asks them, who is your favorite drummer? And Ringo comes up because apparently there is some technique that he uses that drummers find to be really difficult, and that it was just so easy for him. And they say but they all agree
what
that
does he do
the
a lot
best
of?
drummer
Like
is
triplets?
from Led Zeppelin. That's usually the number one pick. It's a Led Zeppelin drummer.
Really?
Yeah.
So
Dude,
here's what I was gonna say. I was just
unreal.
gonna say, I don't think he's magnificent. I do think Ringo's great. I don't think he gets enough credit, but apparently I'm fucking wrong.
Yeah,
but,
they call him out
you
a
want to
lot.
think? Well, like tell me like a great drummer, because there's one that he does in one Beatles song that is just so classic and so good.
Shit, man. Drummer names right now. I don't have any.
No,
for
not
you.
drummer names.
Oh, okay.
A Beatles song where Ringo slays. I just said it a second ago, sort of.
She said, I don't know. That's a
Come
good one.
Together.
Oh, Come Together. Yeah.
Dude, that is like such a good.
Yeah. He had his own thing, his own style.
I don't know what they meant. Like he had this thing that he did.
Yeah.
I wonder what they're talking about. I'll look into it. But my favorite drummer of all time is Joey Jordison, drummer of Slipknot.
Oh, okay.
He's
Wasn't they
dead.
like 3 drummers though for that band?
sort of.
Yeah, they had a lot of
a
them.
few percussionists. Yeah.
So yeah, that's a lot.
But no, they've had because Joey died. They had a new guy. Then now they have their newest drummer. But anyway, there's some great drummers out there. Greatest guitar player of all time. What top 3, Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Greatest of all time,
Jimi Hendrix.
dude. Shoot, that's a tough one.
Top 3.
It could
like
be.
one of
Well, so Van Halen invented
Van
so many
Halen.
sounds that are just, I mean,
Yeah, he's a
without him.
beast.
And then Jimi Hendrix, you got to give him credit for the sound that he created. There was none of that stuff. There was no pedals, and he created those sounds by bending the guitar and pulling up on the bridge and
they created pedals and shit to
to
emulate.
sound like what he would
what
do.
he would
Yeah,
do.
it's so cool. So of course he's a pioneer.
Yeah. Stevie Ray Vaughan.
But Stevie Ray Vaughan's very Hendrix though. So I guess the fact that he was able to do it so well makes him great. But Van Halen invented a style. Hendrix invented a style and a sound. So those two come to mind for me.
The drummer from The Roots. Oh my God, Questlove.
He's fun.
so
He can
good.
play anything.
Yeah, any drummer that's a frontman.
Yeah.
Dave Grohl, another one.
Yeah,
of my
he's
favorite
really
drummers
good.
of all time. Dude, when he did for Queens of the Stone Age, the Army of the Dead. What's the name of the song? It's maybe like the most iconic drum intro ever. I can't even think of the song's name. Damn it! But it's one of the most iconic drum intros ever.
I love that scene from that drumming movie where
Whiplash.
where he's like bleeding and just going, and the guy's just
It's
like
so dramatic, but
bring
it's
it down,
great.
bring it down, bring it down, now up, right, and he just keeps
Dude,
going
that
out with the
movie's
drum
so
rolling.
good.
It's so crazy.
And it's supposed to be saying like when the dad looks and sees him, he's like, oh fuck, like he's never gonna be the same. Like at the end of the movie, and Fletcher's like there loving it.
Yeah.
The kids there loving it.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be like sad, but when Damien Chazelle, the writer-director, showed the first screening and everybody stood up and applauded.
Yeah.
He's like, this is like supposed to be
No,
heartbreaking.
it's this great
No,
moment.
it's like a triumphant moment.
like I beat you at your own game.
Yeah, and the smartest thing, and like, I am Buddy Rich.
Yeah.
I'm the fucking guy who will put everything on the line to make it happen. But the coolest thing is the last shot of the film is and he hits the two fucking
it's cool.
the crash and the
But the fact
ride.
that he finally that the teacher realizes, I found him finally. This is the student I've been waiting for.
and we just get the smile from Fletcher and the eye open from
the rest of the band comes in, and it's so good.
Yeah.
Wait for my cue, and he never stops. And dude, just the physicality of it is crazy.
It's so good. It's funny though. If you look, sometimes you see his hand.
The one-armed drummer from Def Leppard, D Livewire. Good call.
Yeah. I forget his name.
Van Halen, the garage band from Pasadena. Crazy guitar.
Van Halen
playing.
has a great drummer.
Yeah.
Van Halen, they were musically just so crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. All right. So, that's what I want to play real quick. The Queens of the Stone Age intro, real quick.
Yeah, there's some good ones.
Dave Grohl just being a beast. So the hi-hat, he's hitting the hi-hat. Stop.
Yeah, it's wild.
Fucking so good, man.
Yeah.
Sorry, somebody's blowing me up. But so fucking good.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's get back to Kenny Cope. So this fucking gay man.
Yeah, who's he being memed to now?
Put your hand on your head like that.
False teacher Kenneth Copeland does, and then
Bro,
watch
this guy.
Pastor Paul Washer respond.
Put your hand on your head like that. Bald spots, I call you gone. Hair grow.
Hair grow.
Glory to God, healing is happening.
Now, let me tell you something about false teachers. False teachers are God's judgment on people who don't want God, but in the name of religion plan on getting everything their carnal heart desires. That's why a Joel Osteen is raised up. Those people who sit under him are not victims of him. He is the judgment of God upon them because they want exactly what he wants, and it's not God. And you can line them all up along with him.
Interesting.
Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this.
Oh,
Why have you said that you won't fly commercial? You said that it's like getting into a tube.
Get in a long tube
with a bunch of demons.
with a bunch of demons.
So he did say that.
I mean, I think we all feel that way, don't we?
Stop the fear. Stop it right now. Believe.
I believe. I'm sorry.
And donate here.
Yeah.
There's a link right where my finger is.
You think that people that fly commercial are demons?
Give me a chance to talk, sweetheart. I'll explain this to you. But it's a biblical thing. It's a spiritual thing. It doesn't have anything to do with people.
Oh, you dumb little bitch. Oh, you don't get it.
Is he wearing a lot of makeup?
Yeah, probably.
That's interesting.
I blow
I'm sure you do.
on you. You are destroyed forever. And you'll never be back. I was just standing here just thinking, praise God. And all of a sudden,
On my $1 billion
I
stage.
heard the
All
Lord
right, hold on. CTB left us a bunch of comments I didn't even see. She said, I saw LZ at the LA Forum.
Sick.
Amazing. She saw the Zep, bruh.
Yeah.
Look up Phil Rudd, D. Lavar said. Look at them with their badges. Amazing.
Yeah.
And then she said, CTB said, I used to go to Garage Party in Pasadena and Van Halen were playing.
That's where they
Sick.
started out. That's cool.
And then D said, how about the drummer from Def Leppard? Yeah, you said that. Got into an accident, lost his arm, and still drums like never before.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know
hard.
how he could do that with one arm. It's so nuts.
Yeah.
And then CTB said Van Halen, Pasadena, 1970s. What a cool time. What a cool place. What a cool everything.
Yeah. Music was crazy good back
Dude,
then, dude.
well, like the 70s is like the birth and death of rock and roll, like real rock and roll.
Well,
80s
you go
had-
back to like Crossroads, like Robert Johnson, and you listen to like that guitar playing, and it's like
Isn't it like the 50s though?
no, it's the 30s, man.
Yeah, I was gonna, okay, yeah, it's old fuck in
Yeah,
school, yeah.
But that is like the beginning, that because you can hear
Well,
the
that's straight
sounds
blues,
he's
though.
making.
That's the roots
which is the
of
base
rock
of
and
rock
roll.
and roll. Yeah,
That's the roots. Tino with the $9.99. Oh my God, we got the
there
best
we go.
fans
Thank
in
you.
the
Good
freaking
luck.
world.
Appreciate that.
Thank you so much, Tino. You rock. Yeah, and if you guys ever want to do a super and ask a question, we'll make sure to answer it immediately. Just FYI. But what were we saying?
I was done. That's it.
Well, what were we saying though? Because we'll continue off of it.
Nothing.
1970. Oh, Crossroads. You forgot. No, I'll remind you.
Robert Johnson. That's it. The base of rock and roll comes from the sounds that he was
From
making on that
R&B.
guitar.
So yeah, that was more blues.
Do you
rather.
believe in those sell your soul to the devil stories?
No, I don't.
It's interesting.
I just don't think the devil is real, as in a guy who would be like, sign here on the dotted line.
Really?
I think the devil is
Why not?
more of a concept, like that thing in you that wants.
Yeah, but what's that then? That they think is the devil that they're making these deals with? Because more than one person has said they've made these deals.
When Son of Sam says, "The devil told me I needed to kill this guy," and
well, the story goes,
I think
that the people knew Robert.
talking
He
Robert
was
Johnson.
a terrible guitar player, and in one night he became the best guitar player in the world.
I don't think it was in one night. I think it was over years.
Oh, it was overnight. They saw him waiting at the Crossroads playing his guitar. It was terrible.
You believe that story's true?
The
1 to 1.
next day, he was the best guitar player.
You think
in the
that
world.
story's true?
I don't know if it's true. I'm saying
I'm
more
saying
than one
it's
person
not.
has claimed to make these kind of deals. And
Who else? Who else?
There's been just several rock stars have said that
Like,
they
name one.
I don't know. I know there was 80s rock guitar players that have claimed to have made these types of deals.
Who?
I don't know, man. I don't.
That's
I
my
haven't
point, bro.
dove into the subject. I'm just saying I've heard it.
They're
more
not
than
making great
once.
fucking deals if we can't even name one of them.
Well, no, they're all
Sell your
they were
soul,
all
become
famous,
famous.
people. They were
Who is that guy again?
they were all famous people that have said it. And
No, like if you told me Michael Jackson,
there's
I'd be
a whole
like,
documentary
okay.
about it, but I just haven't dove into
You
it.
told me Paul McCartney, I'd be like,
No, these are people that are born with talent. I'm talking about people that aren't, that overnight become a major star and they end up with nothing.
Kesha.
there's something to that, and a lot of them they say that they did this.
Gotcha.
Why even say that you did it? It's just weird.
To feed into the trolls and be funny. I'd say some shit like that. Like, yeah, no, I sold my soul to the devil, dude. It's like they're like, Cameron, you started this podcast, and now it's what would you have to say? I'm like, I sold my soul to the devil, no biggie. Ha ha ha! Laugh, laugh, laugh.
There were legends back in the day of a place that you could go where somebody would
believe this
show
is true?
up. Dude, I'm saying there's legend. There were legends of these certain places
I'm
where
aware
you
of
could
the
go
legends.
and somebody would show up and you could make a deal.
You think this is true though?
I'm saying that there's when so
I know
many
of the-
people
of the
say
lore.
it, there's something there. And we know that people claim to speak to
Do you
demons or
believe-
angels, and that they've given them information. They've told them something, or they've given them the ability to see the future.
Do you
or they've-
believe in Allah
a
or
prophecy.
Muhammad?
What do you mean by that?
Do you believe Allah is the one true God?
I think that most of these religions are pointing at the same God.
Do you
I think they just call him
Allah
different
is
names.
the one true God? Because that Islam doesn't say there's multiple names. Islam says one God.
No, that's just their word for God. But
Okay.
they believe in a single creator.
Yeah.
And
So do you
most
believe
religions,
Allah is God?
I believe there's probably a single creator. Yeah, I do.
Okay, so you think all religions are wrong?
No, I think there were ancient religions that believed in there were multiple gods, and I
And you
don't
think they're correct?
No, I'm saying I think there's a single creator, and I think there are
What religion is that?
beings that are. What do you mean? All Abrahamic religions believe in a single God.
But okay,
So
so
Christianity,
so-
Judaism.
so you're saying Jesus Christ
Islam.
was part of the Holy Trinity?
No,
he's God.
No, that's just Christianity that has that Holy
Well,
Trinity.
I'm asking you. You're talking about Abrahamic
I
religions.
said there. I believe in a single creator.
Okay.
And so do Christians, and so do.
But they don't say just some force out there that's just one guy. They believe it's a very specific, in our image, looks like us type man. You believe that's true?
Well, does he look like us? I don't know.
But you think it's like a one like dude?
I don't
who's
know
up
if
there?
the creator. I'll say this: I don't know if the creator of the universe is the creator of mankind. So that might be. But I think there is a overall creator of the universe.
Okay. So you think all religions are wrong?
No, I think all
Because
of
there's
them
not
are
one
saying the
religion
same
that says.
thing.
Well, yeah, okay, so you believe they're all wrong?
No,
If
I
you
think they're all saying
you
it
just
in a different
combine them
way. No, I just think they all believe pretty much the same thing. They believe in it in a different way. Some of them give credit to different gods for different things.
Yes,
right.
yes, yeah.
These are more ancient
And
religions.
you don't agree with that.
And there were always a god above these gods. There's always this one god that's more powerful than the others, but there were multiple.
Okay, so you
Then
believe Zeus is real?
Then it became could be, yeah, he could have been.
Do
a
you?
being
Do
of some
you?
kind.
I'm asking you specifically.
It's a weird question to ask.
not.
Do I believe a Zeus type character actually existed at some
Yeah.
time? Maybe, yeah, maybe,
Really?
yeah.
No, that's bonkers. That's bizarre.
Is it?
It's crazy.
Is
yeah.
it? We don't know, man. Where do these stories come from?
So
why
my point-
and why did so many people believe in it? And why was it passed down for thousands of years with different
'Cause
names?
people want to believe something, and they want to.
No,
they
maybe
want
it's
to feel
coded
that there's
into
something.
us for a reason. Maybe there is something there. There's just too much synchronicity in the universe.
But
and-
I think that synchronicity makes sense. I think
Yeah.
all these religions and stuff having similarities makes more than enough sense.
yeah, that's why they're all similar. That's why I said they're all pretty much saying the same thing.
But that makes sense to me.
Yeah, they
so
just
it's,
say
it's
it
not like
differently.
it must be true. No, it's because they're like, oh, there's a creator who created us, and we have to act right to get to the kingdom of heaven or
Yeah.
whatever they want to call it.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Anybody, you drop them in our landscape, they're going to come up with some shit like that, I feel like.
For what reason though? Why? Why do we feel that?
Because
Why is that
we feel our
inherent in
time
us?
is so temporary here. We want to be like, no, when grandma died, she's just not just gone now. She's off in this better place.
Oh,
and now
not
she's
every
in
religion
paradise.
says that. Some say that you
I'm
come
not
back
saying every religion
and you
says
have to
that.
resolve this karma over and over again. So there are different ways. But
and I think that's another part. Reincarnation. The people don't want to believe. Shit, I live, I die, and that's it. No,
we know that's not it. We know that's not it.
No.
Yes, we do. We know that all energy
anything.
is then turned into something else.
So, but it doesn't mean you would come back as a person ever. You could come back.
We don't know
as a fart.
We don't know. But the point is. So let me explain it this way. Because I've heard it explained this way. You have a book that's written, and there's a bunch of information in this book, right? Now, if you burn that book, the information in the book still existed and still exists, but it exists in a different form now. You can't read that information, but it's out there. The information was still there. It is just taken on a different form. It's scattered to the ether, right?
No.
But the information still exists.
No.
We die.
The information's
what we
gone.
are. No, it's not.
The
It's just
information's gone.
transformed into something else that
No.
can't be read.
If I write down 2 + 2 = 4,
Right.
and I'm the only one who knows
We
this,
can't
and I burn
decipher
it,
that.
information is gone.
No,
period.
it's not gone.
It is.
It's just turned into something else that we can't read because of the form it's taken. But it still exists, and it did exist, and it's out there. That information still exists. When we talked about the ether, and we talked about the Akashic records, and all things and all knowledge being out there somewhere, that's kind of how. That's like a simple way of explaining it. Is if you take a book, the information in it, if you burn the book, the information still existed, and it still exists out there. It just can't be pieced together and read the same way it was when in its original form. But that information does still exist. We are the same.
So how? And so the point there being, but now, because the book is now in the ether, you are able to tap into that book and read the knowledge.
Yeah, at some point, because at some point in time, space, it existed as a legible piece of information.
How is that knowledge? How are you? Able
It
to
can't be
receive that
retrieved
knowledge
after it's
ever
burned.
again.
So you're gone. This form of you will never be back again.
Yeah.
But whatever you were is out there. And could it come back as something else? Why not? Why isn't that possible? That parts of you would come back as something else, and you wouldn't remember the information that was gone.
I'm not arguing if that's true or false.
But
I don't think
to ask me of a specific God, I just believe.
No, I'm asking what you believe.
I believe that all religions are saying the same thing for the most part.
That's what everybody
and if
says.
that's
what
the case,
every agnostic basically says.
no, and if that's the case, there's probably a reason for that. It's probably true.
You think that's the reason? Is it's probably true?
Yes, I think there's a reason we have that we feel that we feel that there's something more, that there's something to tap into, that there's some next level that we're able to reach, that's built into us because it exists, and it's just hard to explain in what context and how. But listen to near-death experiences; they're very similar. They have a lot of similarities, and it's interesting.
Okay.
So yeah, I believe in some things.
I believe in some things.
Yeah.
If you were dying and you had one song to sing,
What DeLong? They said it was the Greek gods existed.
This fucking guy.
Yeah, just like the Sumerians said the Anunnaki existed. They were just something else.
Sorry if you don't get my information from Blink-182.
That were better than
Jared.
us. Something that was a step higher than us.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
I like it.
So you see that tree right over there? Whoa!
What was that?
I
Is that a
I could
Bigfoot?
just see it.
No,
Are
it
you
was.
hearing me?
I think
The
someone
Lord says,
edited
"See
a tree in
that tree right over there?
because there's not actually one. So they edited like a tree in there.
That looks like
Whoa.
Bigfoot.
I saw it. I could just see
He's
it.
so weird.
Are you hearing me?
He's so weird.
Yeah, he is Willem Dafoe. This is totally
Green Goblin.
Goblin. He's Goblin,
It took me a while to get over my mad,
and he has like these two
Check it out.
personalities.
Yeah.
the murder of George Floyd.
Good job keeping a straight face the
One
entire
of the
time.
worst
Ken.
things that's ever come along is make such a big deal out of retirement. You're talking about retirement to a 16-year-old kid. I mean, come on, man. Come on, man.
And I have a lot of natural gas on our property.
You didn't know that, did you?
Didn't know that, did you, baby?
Now I do.
Yeah,
Did your sweet nipples?
I had a young African-American. He said, ain't nobody gonna give me no job. I said, what is a job? I'm a plantation boss.
Don't do
I'm
the impression.
Boy, you put that all over there, when you get done with that, I'm gonna give you another job. You gotta go do this over here. That's plantation talk. Amen.
Hey, man.
I don't even get it.
Do you really
Nothing
believe
to
that
get.
human beings are demons?
No, I do not. And don't you ever say I do.
With a bunch of demons.
I don't know what I'm going to do. My goodness, this whole thing's going to affect the business. We're not going to get anything from China, and I'm not going to be able to say, oh God, I'm going to lose my car. Yeah, you probably will. And I'll tell you, your car's in danger. It may not be in danger from this, but you're in a good position to wreck it right now.
While GL says he rolled his
Yeah,
car.
weird. I need to hear that story, GL.
Standing in the office of the prophet of God, I execute judgment on you, COVID-19. I execute judgment on you, Satan, you destroyer, you killer, you get out, we break your power, you get off this nation. I demand judgment on you. I demand a vaccination to come immediately.
Yes.
Oh, so he's who did it.
That didn't age well.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, man. But at the time, very popular.
Oh, no, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
That's it. So, and then we got a couple more fucking.
My
flashes.
goodness. Yeah, there's
Kenneth
quite a few
Copeland
memes
is
here.
one of the
So this
most
is him
brazen
blowing-
heretic.
Watch what Kenneth.
Blowing COVID.
Then watch this man's response.
You fall on your face. COVID-19. I blow the wind of God.
Isn't that how you pass
You are
it?
destroyed forever.
Yeah.
And you'll never be.
Yeah. yeah.
COVID-19?
You now have it. Yeah. COVID-19.
McKenna,
It's yours
welcome
now.
back.
McKenna, hey.
Yeah, so
Can I
that's
tell you?
fun.
So we're at the beginning. We
Yeah.
were talking about comments that we got on that short. McKenna left a comment on our last episode saying a 2-hour episode. Like, hell yeah, thank you guys. We're
Nice.
Like, hell yeah, dude, 2 hours. Yeah, we got you. But we're
She's
so
the
happy you
best.
made it live,
Yeah.
my dear. The beautiful and the talented McKenna. McKenna, we don't know if you have a TikTok, but we do the after show on TikTok where we can get a little more personal.
New thing.
Given Life's going to be on it, which I'm excited about. Hopefully Chase downloads it. And then if you do want to download it, that'd be very cool.
Yeah.
And because it's fun, we have a lot of fun with those after shows. That last one was dope.
Yeah.
The last one was really dope. We get into theories. People ask us cool questions. It's a lot of fun. But anyway, so dude, let's just watch this Kenneth Copeland. I just got a few more things I got to show you.
We'll get to the man's
couple
response
minutes.
soon, but first, 3 questions for Kenneth Copeland. 1. Where in the world did you get the idea to do something like this? 2. Why do you do stupid stunts like this instead of teach the gospel? 3. Do you really think God is on your side?
He said that he just had such a strong prophetic anointing on him. Well, he obviously didn't, because it didn't work. And then he lied about hearing from God a few weeks before to conjure up a heat wave and all this. The serious issue here is he, even in his trying to explain it away, he blames God for it. He literally blames God for
Not a
his
good
own
look.
failure. Again, that is not someone who is indwelt by the Holy Spirit.
For more shots like this in your feed, do
Okay,
subscribe.
hold on. Check this out. So we've talked about the COVID-19 thing, and it's hilarious.
Yeah,
okay?
it's funny.
It's him going, COVID-19, I blow you. It's like, okay. The priest's weird energy I felt. Yes, McKenna, very weird energy. You're catching the ass end of this segment.
look at this.
But you could always go back after the episode ends and watch.
Yeah, he
But,
doesn't look like a welcoming,
sweet,
heartwarming
like-
person.
No, he looks like a fucking kook. A little crazy. But check this out. So I got one question for Kenny, dude. Why so meme?
Oh, dude. for
Kenny!
sure.
Why so meme?
You are getting added to the list, my friend.
Yeah.
Your picture is getting up there.
Yeah, we're putting your picture up there.
Oh,
And we got to put Little Tay up there. But,
well deserved.
Well deserved. I actually have a list, and you're going under chicken shit. You're going under a false prophet.
Oh my gosh, man. People.
So that's Kenneth Copeland, dude.
Yeah. Rough. Thank
Sad.
you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Oh, D live.
Forward to the crazy preacher. That's a good one.
Yeah, it's hella good.
That's a good donation. And
Great.
we will get right on that after the private jet purchase.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we need one of those first.
My gosh. So what do you think? What do you
expecting a
think?
great deal.
You gonna start donating immediately or what?
That guy, yeah. I think anybody that is that rich from doing that job is doing it wrong.
$350,000 a year in 1995.
Yeah. They're doing
Extrapolate
something
that.
wrong.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay to pay yourself a salary so you can live, but that's not the point.
And then literally telling
to get rich.
And then literally telling people who have 2 nickels,
Yeah.
give one to the church. Like if you have 2 nickels, give one to me.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
put it towards the insurance for my one of my 3 private jets. He has 3.
Most people agree that the Bible isn't telling you to give money, that was the church asking for money.
Yep.
It wasn't God's word.
No.
They were saying worship.
Jesus makes it very, very clear.
Yeah, worship on your own.
How he feels about
Yeah.
that. He says, yes, he says to be, they even said it here, a rich man getting into the kingdom of heaven, there's a better chance of a camel going through the eye of a needle.
Jeez. Yeah, so
Like,
that doesn't look good for him.
No, it doesn't fare well for our boy Kenny over here.
Yeah. Probably
A
doing something
rich
wrong.
man getting into the kingdom of heaven is less likely than a camel being threaded through the eye of a needle.
So why do you think they get so many followers?
Because
what is that?
It's
that guy was trying to explain it, but his
not
explanation
well.
was
Yeah.
weird.
It's people wanting to be a part of something and wanting to feel there's something bigger. And sometimes, like people, some people are lost. Some people are just random, regular people.
Yeah, but there's churches everywhere, and he's not the only game in town. Like, why?
Well,
why
I think
guys
there's
like
a bunch
that?
of reasons. I think one reason is people get like really into religion and stuff because they're afraid of the alternative of, wait, if I don't believe in God and He's real, I'm fucked.
No, but not why him is what I'm saying.
I'm explaining.
Oh, okay.
In general, I'm saying. So I think that's one of the reasons I think.
Well, that's not going to work, right? So
No.
yeah, if you're just
No.
doing it because as like a backup insurance thing, that's not real.
I was just hearing
It's
this.
not real
I was just
devotion.
hearing this one, and we're gonna do it for a Cast on Blast. I think next week. I was watching this podcast. I'm not gonna mention what it was, but it was this guy talking to this girl. She is like a born again Christian.
Yeah.
So she's saying, I'm gonna wait till marriage. Blah 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 blah. And he's like, well, so what's your body count? 0? She's like, well, no, I used to have sex. I'm born again.
Okay.
And okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
And then he's like, what about those tattoos? Are you going to get those removed? She's like, no. Because if I get those removed, that means I'm covering it up and I'm born again. So I'm allowed to have the tattoos.
Yeah, because you start fresh. That's kind of how it works.
Yeah. But would you not cover up the tattoo?
Well, unless the tattoos are like pictures of Satan or something, why do you need to cover them? Like, I don't know why that's evil. I don't see that as being.
Yeah, well, you're not supposed to desecrate your body or destroy your body. You're supposed to not eat pork, wear fur.
I don't know.
There's a bunch of stuff in the Bible
because a lot of
people
these
do.
guys have like piercings or like
Mm-hmm.
especially like these ancient shaman that were like closest spiritual advisors had like huge things that they did to their body.
No, yeah.
Tattoos all over the place.
Yeah, the big rings and stuff.
Yeah,
but I
so-
mentioned it because the girl says, she says, you claim, she says to the guy, you claim to be a Christian or a Catholic, and you're up here cursing all day, saying F that, F this, F these, F those.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, you don't curse? She's like, no. And he's like, so when you stub your toe, what do you say? She's like, frick. And he's like, you think you're fooling God when you say frick? You think He doesn't know you mean fuck? Like you think, but it's the principle.
Yeah, I think the act of restraining herself
100%.
is actually a good thing.
And she mentions that to her credit. But that's the point that he's missing.
Yeah.
Is no one's trying to fool God.
No,
If you actively, it's not like somebody's tire, like I see a lady's tires flat on the side of the road, so I go to help her. I'm not like, God, make sure you're keeping an eye on me.
Yeah.
No, I'm doing it because I want to do it and I want to be a good person.
Yeah.
And God's always watching, if He's always watching, whatever. But I'm doing it because for me, whatever. But
yeah, and there's an obvious reward system there with doing something good, doing something bad. These things
also
haunt you.
Yeah, I believe
why?
in karma like
yeah.
a son of a bitch. So
yeah, I mean,
like,
just internally, like
No, I
you're
get it,
haunted
I
by
get it.
these things. It's built into us.
Yeah.
Just so.
So Jared, we got a thumbnail with some guy. He's like, "Where am I? Who am I?"
Yeah. Did you see that with the claw
Yeah.
machine picking him up and dropping him off? Because this is one of the most bizarre things about the missing person phenomenon.
Okay.
And we've talked missing 411 before, but this is like a
a very
subset
good
of cases of this phenomenon where people disappear and they do resurface. But with amnesia. So these are amnesia cases. And I chose a few that I thought you would find interesting.
Okay.
And the first one is Elmer Uni.
Great name.
Yeah,
Love
this
it.
is an exciting one. So this is December of 62.
What
Elmer
December of 62.
Elmer's he's married, he's got a family. He wants to go to South Dakota and go duck hunting, right?
Okay.
So he takes his truck and his boat out to the Mississippi River in North Dakota or South Dakota. He knows the guy who owns the property. He's been out there a bunch of times. And he's out there. He sees a couple other hunters, and he knows these guys. I mean, everybody knows each other. It's just the small town kind of atmosphere, right?
Cute, yeah.
So Elmer runs into these other hunters he knows, and they ask him, they're like, "You don't look that good. Or is everything okay?" He's like, "I got a headache." That's weird because if you follow this phenomenon, there is a couple signs right before people go missing. They're usually
what does Pilates call those? The cluster things, something points.
Well, that's what I was going to say. So there's the point of separation when you're with somebody, but there's another data point where it's they're sick, or they feel sick, or they get a headache right before, and they're like, "Oh, I need to like sit down," and then there's that point of separation, and they're never seen again, ever. No trace, no dog scent, nothing, gone. Like they're picked up and.
By a claw.
Yeah, a claw machine, right? It just and when they're never found, that's creepy. Yep. So this guy, he goes, finally gets his boat out around 4:00 p.m., and that's the last time he's seen is by these hunters at 4 p.m.
Yeah.
Around 9 p.m., the guy that owns the property sees the truck that he brought his boat in on, but the boat's not there. So it's late, and he's not back, and so he gets worried. He's worried about Elmer. So he knows Elmer's family.
This is his friend?
This is the guy that owns the property. He's on.
Oh, got it.
So he's docked at this little where he can drive his boat into the river, and he's out there duck hunting. There's some ice on the river this time. It's December, right? Okay. 62 again. So this guy that owns the property notices the truck's there, but the boat's not, and it's late. So something might have gone wrong. Calls up Elmer's brother. He has his phone number, so that's how close all these people are. In these small communities, calls up the brother and his son, Elmer's son, drive up there. They get there within a couple hours. They get on their own boat and they go looking for him on the river.
Let's find Elmer.
Yeah. Now, after a little while of searching, they see his boat and it's up against this little ice sheet and the anchor is hanging off the side. So they get on the boat. Elmer's not on the boat.
Oh, the anchor's dropped.
Yeah. But Elmer's not on the boat.
Okay, so the assumption is, though, this is where he wanted to fish. Anchor?
Possibly.
Okay.
Yeah. We just know that the anchor's over the side where you would kind of hook it to the like the coastal side area, but it's not. It's just dropped directly into the water. And then there's a block of ice there. All of his tools, he used to carry around these tools with him. Yeah. His toolbox is open. All the tools are laid all over the boat.
Weird.
Boat works, though. It's not damaged.
The boat works?
Yeah.
So what was he fixing?
Right.
Why would he put his tools
Now,
out?
there's a big hole there in the ice. Uh-oh. That doesn't look good, right? It looks like he might have fallen through the ice.
Shit.
So they get freaked out. They call the local sheriff. The sheriff comes out, gets a search team together. The whole community comes together. They get airplane flights flying over. They throw everything they got at this. Now, something weird about this case. 4 months before this guy Elmer goes missing, 4 hunters in the same exact area got on a boat and were never seen again. All 4 bodies, not a piece of them was recovered ever.
Weird.
That is beyond bizarre. a leg, an arm, a body. They're going to float to the coast. They're going to end up in an outlet.
A piece of a T-shirt.
Stuck to a rock. There's
backpack.
something. It's only 20 feet deep. They drag it.
Crazy.
They don't find him, right? So they don't find these guys. So that these 4 guys are gone. Now we've got 1 guy missing. What are the odds of finding 1 if we couldn't find these 4? And this was just a few months ago. So weird that this little hotspot, right, is turning up all these missing people, there's no evidence. They bring out the dogs. There's no scent, which is another trope of these types of cases, right?
Okay. So, and what did Paulides call them? Something points, right? Data points.
It's got to be data points.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So anyway, so let's go to a few days later. They end up canceling the search, and they're assuming that he went into the water. 6 months go by, and this is why I included this case, because this is the most bizarre shit ever. Okay, he went missing in South Dakota. Okay.
Yeah.
6 months pass. Somebody from his hometown in Iowa, Elmer's hometown, takes a trip to Inglewood, California. He is from Elmer's hometown, a small little town in Iowa is where he's from. He was just hunting in South Dakota. So he's from his small town in Iowa. Everyone knew about Elmer's disappearance in that area. It was a big deal. He's in Inglewood, California, and he sees Elmer. And he goes,
what the fuck?
He knows him. He knows his brother. He's got his brother's phone number.
Elmer?
He walks up to him and
Fudd?
goes, Elmer, is it you? And the guy looks him blank faced. He's like, what are you talking about?
He doesn't know his own.
Right? He's like, Elmer, everyone's been looking for you. How long have you been here? Tell me what happened to you. Everyone thinks you're missing. He goes, sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. And then he goes, okay. And he's a laborer. He was working at the time. So he goes to the people that he's working for and he says, what do you know about that guy?
He just wandered on one day. Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
He showed up. He didn't remember his name or where he's from. In Inglewood, California. And what are the odds that someone from his hometown who would know his face was there from Iowa? Like in this small and crosses paths with him.
Yeah. If it was like Hollywood, who knows?
Just the fact that they cross paths is crazy, but across the country. So he calls his Elmer's brother and he goes, dude, I think I found Elmer. He's in Inglewood, California. And the brother's like, dude,
I ain't going out there.
His car was at the scene. He had no vehicle. The closest airport was I think they said it was like 100 miles away from where he was.
And
they were
obviously
rural.
there was no credit cards being used or something.
Nothing like that.
Track
Yeah,
that.
right. Exactly. So there's no way it could be him. It's impossible. And so he contacts Elmer's son. And he says, dude, I think I found your dad. I'm pretty sure it's him. They say he has amnesia. He doesn't remember how he got here. Fly out here. I promise you. I think I found your father. So the brother and the son end up flying out there. And damn it, if it's not Elmer. They identify him, and it is him. And he doesn't remember them. He doesn't remember anything. All he remembers is this is his last memory. He says, I remember a hitchhiker coming up and touching my door.
I don't like it.
And he goes,
but I fear it.
So I'm like, oh, okay, well, this is freaky stuff. That's all I remember. And that's it. 6 months go by, and I'm here in Inglewood, California. It took him a long time to get his memories back. He spent a long time in the.
But he got them back
in the hospital. No, he has no. And they checked him. There was no explanation for
no brain injury.
Yeah, exactly. They did a full diagnosis, and they don't understand how he got 1,600 miles from where he disappeared.
Dude, I heard a similar story. Sort of. What does Jail say? He's going off in the chat though.
Yeah, let's see here. The most corrupted, messed up church in the world. I got the IDS. Or I don't know what he's saying. I'm not sure what he's saying in that one. The IDS? What is that? I'm missing that one. Yeah, but he says that's what he's like. This is like common practice. they tell you not to do, and then that's why they do everything that they tell you and tell you how to live or tell you how to do things. But if you go into certain areas of the world, tattoos are part of religion. If you're talking about Native Americans like me and you, that was part of our culture, having tattoos. I think that guys. He thinks so. Now we're talking about the missing people. He thinks that some of these people get caught into portals, and they don't know. So yeah, that's a very good. Yeah, maybe there's areas where you slip into but he's gone for 6 months and it's full amnesia and doesn't remember. But he doesn't even remember his own name. He doesn't remember where he's from. It's not just amnesia of the missing time. It's amnesia of everything. He has to relearn his own name. Like that's wild. So
that's like super brain injury stuff, but he's fine.
Yeah. So what are the odds though of a guy?
Very slim.
Who's from his
showing
hometown,
up in Inglewood and recognizes him, knows
him,
calls his brother like they know like their family and shit.
That's a 1,600 mile distance that he would have traveled.
Traversed. Yeah.
And this is in the 60s, so he would have had to spend some big money, and he didn't have a car, access to a car. He left his car there. Left his boat there. Why were the tools out?
I'm heading to Inglewood, and he's like, "Okay, let's go."
Just super strange.
Yeah, the tools being out's weird too.
So, like I said, this is not.
Oh shit, Jared.
What? Oh, you forgot the thing.
Yeah, no, you forgot the thing. I didn't forget shit. So, I mean, what do we even call this segment? What would it be? It's sort of like, it's wild. It's mysterious. Like, what would you call this?
Probably the ancient and the mysterious, as we used to say at the beginning of the episode.
Check out that graphic, bitch.
There we go. We got a graphic for the segment. The ancient and the mysterious. This falls into the mysterious category.
Yes. And the ancient. Get it? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, the ancient and mysterious. Look at that fucking thumb, man. Cool. Portal. That actually fits what we're talking about right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's a dordle. A portal with a door portal. I see a UFO. I see a witch lady. I see some shit back there. I see some ancient carvings. Ooh, this music's getting good.
So yeah, like I said, these aren't isolated incidents. I've got a couple more stories like this, and like I said, there are dozens of these stories, which is bizarre that this is a thing that happens. This next one is pretty bizarre because of where the guy ends up. So this is Robert Camo, married with 3 kids. Last seen June 28th, 1974. Okay. So the earlier thing I said on the last one where the guy said the hitchhiker touched his door, that's actually from this story. It's not from the last one. The last one, the guy doesn't remember anything. He doesn't remember getting in the boat, remembers nothing. He knows that he wanted to go hunting, and that's it. But it took them a long time for him to even get his own name back. So we'll get to the hitchhiker part in this story. So sorry for conflating the two.
No, good.
But last seen June 28th, 1974, driving his car in Canada, in New Brunswick.
First problem, yeah.
That's the last time he's seen. He's driving his car. His car is found on an embankment up against a river. So this is water again. And if you follow the missing 411 phenomenon, there's always water involved.
Near water.
Why?
Yeah.
Why is this a common thing?
It happens near water.
Yeah, and most of these people are never seen again. In these amnesia cases, obviously they are found if they have amnesia, and we know that. So that's kind of the twist.
This dead man, I think, probably has amnesia.
Yeah, he died of a case of not knowing who he is.
Yeah.
Interesting you say that though. So they seal off the area. They search it. It's a big, massive search. They bring out again the Coast Guard, go across the whole river. Yeah. In a lot of these communities, I mean, people come out and volunteer. In some cases, you have some massive presence, search presence.
Yeah.
And that was the case here. So this guy, last seen, just driving his car. Car's on an embankment up against the river. He has to be in the water. Drag it, nothing. It's not that deep. They don't find him. They don't find any remains. Don't find his body. They only search for about 3 days. So he goes missing on the 28th, and by July 1st, the search is given up completely. Okay. The day before, though, on June 30th, our boy Robert wakes up in a restaurant. So imagine waking up in a restaurant, and he's in Bangor, Maine. He went from New Brunswick in 2 days to Maine.
How far is New Brunswick from Maine? Probably not that far.
I could tell you exactly how far. It's 262 miles. So he traveled 262 miles and woke up in a restaurant.
In 2 days?
Yeah.
That's
and doesn't know
doable.
without a vehicle. Obviously, his vehicle is at the scene, right?
You said he had the Chevy, right? The Chevrolegs?
Yeah, there you go. Chevrolet. So if he would have walked all that distance on his own, great. If he would have been picked up, the search went wide. It was very public. Somebody would have said, oh, I picked up so-and-so.
Yeah.
This is where he is. Again, he wakes up in a restaurant. He doesn't know who he is or where he is.
That'd be so creepy.
He's got a few bucks in his pocket.
Denny's.
So he rents a rooming house and stays there for 2 weeks.
What's a rooming house?
It's just like a motel, basically, but very cheap one. And he just stays there for 2 weeks, not knowing who he is.
Like fucking.
Or what
Guess
to
I'll
do.
just post up because.
Right. And hopefully it'll come back to me. He ends up going to a Sunday mass at a church, and the father, he speaks to the father, and he says, I don't know who I am. I don't know where I am. I don't know where I'm from. Please help me. And he goes, he's like, of course I'll help you. And he calls the sheriff. Sheriff is smart. He puts out a teletype. This is what they were using back then. That goes pretty wide with his description. And somehow an officer in Canada sees that and contacts the RCMP and goes, hey, I just got a teletype from Maine in the States. And their description of a guy that with amnesia down there kind of matches our missing person in New Brunswick.
Yeah.
Could it be Robert? And so they give him the exact description, and it is Robert.
No shit.
Now, this is his last memory, and I mentioned it earlier. His last memory, and this is kind of creepy. There is a hitchhiker that touches his door. He remembers that.
Like the door to his home or
the
car?
door to his car when he's driving. He says, obviously a hitchhiker.
He was seen
yeah.
the last driving.
So he's like, I remember a hitchhiker like touching my door, but I also remember the truck flying towards the embankment, but I don't think I was driving. I don't even know if I was in the car when it happened.
What?
Yeah. But obviously they didn't rob him. They didn't take the car, and they didn't take his money because he had the money to be able to rent this rooming house, right?
The rooming house, yeah.
But he didn't have ID or anything on him.
What?
Yeah. So they call up his wife and they say, hey, we found your husband in Maine. And so he ends up in hospital for a long time trying to regain his memory. That's the only memory that he regains is some hitchhiker touched the door.
I hate it. And his truck flipping or rolling, what was it?
It just crashed into an embankment up against the
But he
river.
doesn't feel like he was even driving?
He doesn't think he was driving.
That's so fucking creepy.
What is that?
It's nothing.
262 miles and you wake up in a restaurant. Why are you sitting in a restaurant?
Was it like Fleming's or like Denny's? Because that matters.
They didn't say the name of the restaurant.
Damn it.
Yeah.
That's the most important piece. That's the most important detail.
Well, what the fuck?
Yeah, so...
The other guy went from Iowa to California.
Inglewood, yeah.
Total amnesia. Forgets everything. This guy went from Canada to the United States, 260 miles within 2 days, but wakes up in a restaurant. And he has to spend 2 weeks figuring out
I feel like
who he
260
is.
miles isn't that much.
That's a lot.
Are you frozen? Yeah.
That's weird.
You're frozen. It's okay.
Why would I only be frozen?
I have no idea. That's so weird. That's bizarre.
Yeah, it's these stories, bro.
Yeah.
Tapping into something bizarre here. I have a feeling Politis has gone full alien theory here.
Maybe someone was trying to call me or some shit. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, maybe.
But
I feel like he's kind of gone full UFO. His latest book was the UFO Connection.
Yes. No, I've been thinking this, that his answer is it's aliens.
Yeah, for a long time he wouldn't
that
say.
too. I think so too.
Because
he wouldn't say either way.
He didn't have enough
I don't
data
think it's
points.
this. I don't think it's that.
Right.
Whatever you guys think it is, let me fucking know. Cool. I think he's...
Now he's full in.
He's in.
Because he even says, like, we're to ignore what we're hearing here. Abduction victims, they say they have to have like hypnosis done to even get any of these memories back. There's always this amnesia thing. They're picked up and out of nowhere and dropped off randomly in random places. He says, I know a lot of people want it to be Bigfoot or dogmen, but Bigfoot isn't going to take you 260 miles and drop you off. The guy you talked about in a former episode, the skier that wakes up 2 years later in a yard next to where his parents' house was. Yeah. What about this guy being dropped off in Inglewood, where one of guys from his hometown is going to see him?
Bizarre,
right? We'll get you homes eventually.
What about the guy?
But in the meantime, we're going to do whatever we do and just drop you somewhere.
See, that's why I'm very excited for Given Life and Chase to join the TikTok, because there's so much that, like, while we're talking, like, we can't read every single thing, and I want to, like, dissect every word they say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm excited that they're going to join that TikTok. But start singing the Frozen song.
So yeah, it sounds like a date drug of some kind. So people say like so even David Paulides. So I mean, all credit to him. He's the guy who finds these stories and these missing 411 stories.
He's the only reason that these stories
and puts them together.
That there is a record of any.
Yeah, right, and that they're all put together and related by these data points. But he. But yeah, to David's his own words, like he says, yes, there were drugs invented after the 60s or after the 70s that could wipe your memory. For 6 months, are they? I mean, who's sitting there dosing somebody with GHB for 6 months and then dropping them off on the other side of the country or in another country? Yeah. How did he do that? So it's just too bizarre, and the distance is too vast for it to be something basic, and they're losing months of memory.
D. Lavar said, come on, his wife was a bitch, so he split.
Yeah, maybe. But doctors in every case always check in, and they always verify that they believe these are true cases of amnesia. So no case is ever included where it can be dismissed.
Maybe this guy's bullshit.
Right. They're clinically, they look at, and they meet every qualification, and they're looked at by multiple people, and they believe the amnesia is real. And they don't remember their families. Like, they don't remember their mothers.
So you said you have 3 stories, so you have one more probably.
I do. I have one more.
And tell me if you want to answer this question afterward.
Sure.
But what do you think is going on? If David Paulides says it's aliens, Chase Mack,
he's saying it without saying it. Yeah, but his missing 411, the UFO connection, is basically how missing people are connected to UFO sightings. And now with you take so the amnesia cases are interesting. He has a trucker, a whole like chapter on truckers in one of his books.
Yeah. Remember
lone
for our
truckers.
missing 411 episode?
Yeah,
I think I did hunters.
There's missing hunters, a lot, but truckers, lone truckers.
Didn't someone do truckers? No. Princess did hunters. I did UFO connection, and you did the phenomenon itself. It was a fucking good episode.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was an old school one.
That was old school.
Yeah.
That was like episode like 25.
And that's back before the UFO connection came out, and the consensus was Bigfoot. Something was taking these people.
The UFO connection came out because
it was
that's
out.
what I covered. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was brand new though.
Yeah. Because I was gonna say back then a lot of people were. They were looking at locally missing cases. They weren't finding people miles away. Now we have dozens of these examples of people being found on the other side of the country.
So what do you? Thank you for the hearts, guys, and the smileys and everything. So what do you think it is?
What has the ability to wipe your memory for
extra dimensional
months
beings
at a time and pick you up and take you somewhere else?
Extra dimensional beings.
Right. Maybe
or
there's
aliens.
So how does space-time really work? The portal theory, right? So if you were to cross through some threshold where time doesn't move the same for you as it does for other people, in other cases of amnesia that I'm not covering, the dogs would pick up the scent in the other direction of where the people are found.
Yeah, it's weird.
So, and they would try, like the dogs.
Can I tell you something? So I've been watching some videos on some glitch in the Matrix videos.
Okay.
But these are specific glitch in the Matrix videos. Dude, tell me about this kind of stuff. So a lot of them are like this. This girl, she's like, she has this IKEA drawer thing, right? And she's like, so my IKEA thing, it's a little desk like a vanity.
Yeah.
And it has a drawer here and a drawer here, right? And in this drawer, I keep all my makeup brushes.
Yeah.
Right? So she's like, so last night I pulled that drawer out and I set it there because in the morning I'm going to do my makeup. So I just figured,
Yeah.
She wakes up and she grabs It's there, right where she left it. No problem.
Yeah.
So she grabs makeup, blah blah blah. She goes to put the brushes back. There's a drawer in there. She's like, oh, I switched them. So I must have taken the other drawer and put it in there and had this drawer out. So she goes to put it in the other side. There's a drawer in the other side too.
Okay.
She's like, what the fuck? Opens the drawer.
So there's like an extra drawer?
There's an extra fucking drawer.
Oh, that's weird.
Another guy, he has his ring, and he found it on his countertop. He's like, oh shit, I must have taken it off and put it on the counter. Then he looks at his hand, and it's still on his fucking finger.
That's weird.
Yeah. Another one similar is, there's a cool one where, and basically the thought is like glitch in the Matrix, like someone somewhere in another timeline is missing a drawer and missing a ring, right? Another one, this chick pulls up with her two friends.
Right? They're missing the ring.
No. Someone in another timeline because they have too many of them.
But it would be them in another timeline.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So
Did I make that clear?
They're missing it. Yeah.
Them in another timeline.
Yeah.
So
quantum mechanics solves for this. It says that things exist, all possibilities exist, right? Simultaneously. So there's not supposed to be a way to cross between these.
But
you can't both, like the Schrodinger's cat thing, both be alive and dead at the same time.
Yeah.
It's one or the other once it's measured. So this person with the extra drawer both opened that drawer and didn't. And the person that opened it, somehow they got the version of the drawer where they didn't open.
Yeah.
And the person who took off the ring and the person who didn't somehow got the ring that didn't get taken off.
Isn't that fucking crazy though?
That is crazy.
And here's another really quick one. Two friends, late night, Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
It's like 12:45. I think closes at 1. So they're like, let's go to Chick-fil-A. They're still open. Oh shit, there's a guy outside, which is sort of weird because at that late of a time, you don't think there'd still be like you know, in and out like the guy outside. But there is.
That's cool.
Yeah. So she goes, they order, what do you want? What do you want? Yeah. The guy puts the card in the little card reader thing. Cool. Pull up to the next window. She pulls up and the lady's like, what's up? And she's like, just my order. She's like, what's the name? She's like, Veronica. She's like, we don't have a Veronica order. Yeah. She's like, no, it was the guy who just took our order. Look back and no guy. Also, there was 2 cars behind them. The cars are gone too. She's like, yeah, no, you're like, we're closed, sweetie. Sorry.
What?
Checks her bank statement. Has the
no.
receipt. Yeah.
Oh,
has
that's
the fucking
freaking
receipt.
bizarre.
So she says, tell the other. She said to the camera, like, tell the other timeline in me in the other timeline
that they owe me
fucking
some
enjoy the Chick-fil-A motherfucker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just super fucking weird.
Yeah. That's...
Another one I'll tell you super quick. These 2 guys, they went on a trip to Australia. These 2 Americans, and the whole time they were making little jokes like, "Oh, we're on the Truman Show," right? Like, so if they would see like a road that's like unfinished, like, they, under construction, they'd be like, they couldn't even finish the road before we got here. These motherfuckers. And then they're sitting in a restaurant, and they see this old guy walk past with a cane, right?
Yeah.
And then he gets just right out of sight, and then he comes and does the same thing the other way, and he keeps doing it. And then so they're like sort of like making fun of the guy. They're like, oh yeah, let me just keep walking back and forth. This is my job description for this Truman Show, guys, right?
That's weird.
Super weird.
Yeah.
And then a guy who looks identical to this guy, cane, same red sweater, same blue pants, comes up with his little cane to the other guy. So the guy who was walking back and forth stands up, puts his cane under his arm, and walks off. And the other guy takes over, going back and forth.
Like in a shift?
Like shifts.
What?
Like what is even what?
That's weird.
And it's not like these guys are like, hey guys, craziest thing, man. No, they're like, fucking weird things.
Yeah.
And I don't know, you guys can believe me or not, but here's what fucking happened. Weird.
Old guy with cane, they take shifts.
Is that fucking weird, dude?
That doesn't make sense.
Like, explain that if it's not like the Truman Show thing, which I'm assuming it's not. If it's not a Mandela or if it's not a glitch in the Matrix, what is that?
I don't know.
Wearing the same outfit, looking the exact same, saying, "Up, your shift's done." Okay. Puts
Yeah,
the fucking thing on his arm.
there might be. Imagine a prosaic like explanation for that, like where they're both like these weird, like they have some sort of disorder and they have to do it every day.
Yeah.
And for some reason, that is the outfit that they chose, like an OCD thing almost.
If those guys were there or not, it is of no consequence.
They just have to. Okay, from 4 to 6, I've got to walk back and forth inside the Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. And me from 6 to 3, I gotta walk back. Yeah.
And we have to wear the same outfits. And there's, oh, thank goodness he's here. It must be 6. Okay, now I can go do my chores.
Yeah, because I'm only 30 years old, and so I can put my cane under my arm and fucking.
They have to do
That's
it.
bonkers.
Yeah,
though. Is that nuts?
No, it is.
And there's
weird.
a few more of those where it's literally just like people finding an extra thing, and like one was this woman is unboxing. She just moved to a new place. She's unboxing this gift that she got for herself in this secondhand store. And it had like
those videos.
I know it had like the little tag ripped off, whatever, right? Twins, GL maybe, right?
Yeah.
It had little like tag ripped off, but you could still see residue from the sticker.
Okay.
So she finds, oh, here's my little thing, and then she goes and she finds another one, same indents, same sticker mark.
Yeah.
What? She found it like at a secondhand store. She didn't buy a backup. There was no backup. It was one of one. You know what I mean?
What? Okay, so that's weird.
It doesn't make any sense.
And it was the same thing. It was the exact same toy or
It
whatever.
wasn't only the same. It was a little plastic dish. It was like a turtle like soap dish thing.
Okay.
Very unique. Glitch in the Matrix. McKenna, exactly right. Dude, explain that.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of those I was watching, and most of them were people finding like multiples, duplicates of shit that they shouldn't have to.
Well, we were talking about religions earlier, and religions believe in this world being some sort of test or illusion.
Let me ask you simulation theory.
Choose.
Scale 1 to 10. How much do you believe that we're in a simulation right fucking now?
I guess it depends on definition of simulation. Is it like a Matrix type electronic simulation, or is it some sort of dimensional game of some kind? I do think that it's very likely that there is a layer above
Matrix,
this that we ascend to, like the near-death experience.
Oh, that we ascend to.
Yeah,
not that we're just
when
cogs
we
in the
die.
machine.
No, we're out. When you're dead, you're out of the game. You're out of the machine. You see how you did. Did you do the right things? Did you complete the objectives that you were supposed to complete? Heaven. No. Yes. You did this bad thing. You did this great thing.
That sounds like the pearly gates.
Do you want to go back? Yes, every religion has that. All of them. That when you die, your deeds on earth are weighed. And these near-death experience people say that their whole life flashes before their eyes. And in some cases, they see the results of the decisions they made, things they weren't present for.
Oh, results of decisions.
So they did something to somebody, and they see the result of what they did, even though they weren't present for the results.
Yeah.
So it's like you're like at the end of a video game. These are your points. This is what you
I break up with a
accomplished.
chick. I never see her eating the whole thing of Dreyer's ice cream, but at the end of my life, I see it.
You see the consequences of the negative things you did, and then you choose to come back in. And that's how some people remember past lives. That's how some people remember.
Simulation doesn't necessarily include propagates. What?
Pearly gates.
Okay. Yeah. No. I'm not saying it does. I'm saying
that's like
what he was saying sounded similar to.
So that's what they say. Yeah, that's like the Christian version of it. And then there's the Islamic version of it where it's like a scroll. And then there's like the Hindu version of it. They all
Islamic
have
version. You get like 74 virgins or whatever. What is it?
Well, I don't. So I'm talking about like the most like the most
common?
ancient. No, like the original death like story. Like they say, this is what happens when you die. You're gonna see everything you did, all the good and all the bad.
You take
the devil's
them both
gonna be there.
Facts of life.
The angel and the devil basically on your shoulder. They're both gonna be there, and they're gonna go through all the deeds with you and kind of weigh what you did.
You did it perfect, Cameron. Wouldn't have changed a thing.
And just like how the Hindus think,
you should have been more helpful.
Yeah, you did. You screwed this up. You did this, and that we're choosing to come into this reality to face these challenges and to grow and to learn. imagine if you're from this distant future that's utopian and we solved all problems.
Yeah.
You would never be able to experience hardship or anything
Viltrumites.
like this. So you make the choice. I'm going to come into the world with this, and I'm going to,
We got Stu, buddy.
yeah.
I'm a fucking man.
Yeah.
D-Live Warrior with the thumbs up sticker and the donation. Thank you, sir.
So yeah, every religion agrees your soul gets kind of weighed, and maybe we're making a decision to come back and do this over again from somewhere else.
Yes.
So
Thank you, D. You're a fucking man. Appreciate you, brother.
If all religion says it, and simulation theorists all believe that it's more likely that if you were to be able to create a simulation, 100 years down the road, if we have the technology that can create a simulation that's indiscernible from reality, that some other civilization has already done that, and that we would be in it. So it's more likely that we are in a simulation than not. And Elon Musk has said this, and there's other
Zuckerberg.
There's a lot of people that believe.
But so what about like we are part of a program, or just even we are? Everything exists in a cell within on the back of a turtle, whatever the fuck.
That makes sense to me. That's for sure. Just the whole idea of the Big Bang is, I mean, we all start out as a single-celled organism.
Exactly. We think it's this giant universe, but it's on a scale of like this.
Yeah. Imagine we all start out as one cell. That's it.
I started out as 3.
That'd be weird.
Well,
that would be
it is what it is.
Out of the norm. But all of this information stored into a single cell that becomes everything that you are.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's crazy. The wave function is crazy. The idea that something can change its state based on
you're
measurement.
talking about wave conjugations.
Yeah.
And actually, Walter Russell actually.
How does that make sense? Just like in video games, how things render, the simulation theory does make a lot of sense.
No, it does, especially the better games get. And games are getting so good.
Yeah. So I'm going to do this last story because we have a conspiracy corner.
Yeah.
So this is G.E. Riggin.
Hold on real quick. Chase said, what did he say? Funny how we think.
We know how the universe was made when we understand so little about anything. We don't understand. We don't.
I know. It's very human of us to be like, oh, well, this is how this works, but we don't know anything. We're fools.
It's all big guesses. Gravity having a propulsive force that pushed the like when the Big Bang happened, that pushed the universe out into like this infinite expanse, and
ever expanding,
that that it might be happening over and over and over again. We don't understand anything about black holes. Everything's theory. We don't understand. We understand so very little.
I know. Even about like Earth, we don't even know anything, dude.
Yeah, I mean, how much time have we? It's because we're limited by the technology of our time. Every generation, we're going to get closer to figuring this stuff out.
It's not even that. It's more like, yeah, we could invent these cool fucking new things, but this industry is really making good money, or people want to watch TikToks. You know what I mean? Not blasting TikTok. I mean, join it after the show. But it's like there's a special interests always get involved. There's always something. It's always something. But tell us this last story.
Yeah, that's I think the mistake that we make.
Yeah, 100%.
If we all join together and we're like, okay, all resources are going to go to getting to the next level.
That'd be the best.
Then we would get there instantly. It would just be like a collective rise in consciousness. And I think we need that.
Side rising all races.
So G.E. Riggin, married with kids.
These
4
names
kids.
are great.
High Point, North Carolina. This is where we start. This is October 6, 1928. In North Carolina, G.E. sits down at a restaurant on the 6th of October, eats a sandwich, pays, walks out, and that's his last memory. This is October 6th and 28. Last thing he remembers, sat down, ate a sandwich at a restaurant. So this isn't a hiker. He's not out in the middle of nowhere. This isn't a guy alone in a truck.
He's in a
This isn't a trucker.
Yeah.
He's in a restaurant eating a sandwich. Now, let's fast forward to November. This was October 6th. November 19th, 1928. This was High Point, North Carolina. Now, in November, an officer in Austin, Texas, sees a man laying on the street unconscious. And he goes to try and resuscitate him, and he can't, but he knows he's alive. So he calls an ambulance. Ambulance picks him up, brings him to the hospital. Within 3 hours of being at the hospital, GE jumps up out of bed and yells, shut off the radio and turn on the ice machine. That's what he says.
What the fuck?
Right? So the hospital staff runs in there and they're like, are you okay? And he's like, where am I?
What, he thinks he's in the restaurant still? Or
They don't know. What does this mean?
Shut off the
right?
radio.
Shut off the radio and turn on the ice machine. So the staff runs in. They're like, are you okay? And he's like, where am I? He was just eating a sandwich.
Yeah.
And they go, you're in a hospital in Austin. He goes, Austin what? They go, Austin, Texas. And he goes, no, that's impossible. He's like, why would you say that? He's like, seriously, where am I? They go, you're in Austin, Texas.
No, seriously, where am I?
He's from North Carolina. No, he wouldn't believe them.
Okay.
They have to show him the phone book to prove to him that he's in Austin, Texas.
No, they're like, okay, you're in San Antonio. Wow.
That'd be weird. They lied for some reason. But so he wakes up screaming this, and then he realizes, oh shit, I don't know who I am.
Yeah.
I don't know where I'm from. I don't know. But he was from North Carolina, woke up in Austin, Texas. And
I'm in Austin, Texas. I'm supposed to be in.
Oh, wait, where am I supposed to be? Exactly. So legit case of amnesia. Damn. They go through the whole thing. The doctors go through. I love the distance here again. This is 1928. This is not it's not easy to travel these long distances in 1928. So what happened here? And he was in a restaurant, so that's why I picked this one. I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
They go.
What's the ice machine fucking thing?
So luckily, so that's how they were able to start figuring out who he was. They asked him, so why did you say ice machine? He's like, I don't know. They're like, did you work with ice? And he's like, oh wait. Yeah, I
worked at a radio
did.
station full of ice.
And basically through that one sentence, they started to help him remember who he was, and they figured out who he worked for through the ice machine. It was like some company that delivered ice and other things. And he was like one of the most reliable, on point guys that they've ever had. Most normal, sane family man, nothing weird, no history of anything, no brain injury, no injury of any kind at all. So what the hell?
What is it? Is something in the fucking water? What are we talking about?
So he was in a restaurant, man. This guy wasn't even next to a river. This guy was in a friggin' restaurant when he disappeared. Nobody saw him walk out.
Like, what is it?
Nobody saw him leave.
Like, is it what, aliens? Is it something in the water? What is it?
I don't know what it is. They find out who his employer is. Through his employer, they find out his name. Through his name, they find his family. Family picks him up. That's his last
and he's
memory.
like, oh, honey.
Is eating a sandwich.
Yeah. My love.
No, he doesn't remember anybody. Yeah.
Course,
it takes a long time for these people to remember their family.
How awful.
It is awful.
Oh my God, sweetie, I thought you were gone forever.
So if it is the Matrix.
Can I help you?
Let's say it's simulation.
Okay.
Is this someone unplugging?
Resetting, yeah.
And plugging back in? And they move their avatar? Like, what is that?
I hope not. That'd be sad.
Yeah, that's scary.
Or that'd be dope.
Like, I don't have an explanation. Nobody does.
If your life sucks, like that'd be dope. But
no, because they all want to get back to it. They all end up. It's not like any of them try and stay hidden. They always go to the authorities immediately and say, "Where am I?
What's happening?" Yeah.
I passed up 50 fucking stories of guys that walk up to farms, and one of the most common phrases in these instances are, "Do you know who I am?" That's the first thing that comes out of their mouth, because they don't, and they're just hoping someone that they see knows who they are.
Charlie from Nebraska, yeah.
Well, yeah.
What are you doing in Inglewood?
No, normally it's that'd be absurd.
Yeah,
but no, nobody knows who they are because they're so far away from where they're supposed to be. And the searches can never pick these guys up. How do you not pick up a scent? Fishermen wear their fishing gear and their boots and their jackets are there, and they're found 2,000 miles away a few days later. And they say, I remember I was about to fish. That's it. That's all I remember.
That helps.
I don't remember my family. I don't remember my wife. I just remember the last moments before.
I remember the important things. I was about to
here.
fish. I remember the important things. Turn off the radio and turn on the ice machine.
Yeah.
Okay, so you said we have a conspiracy corner, though.
We do.
Okay.
This is a fun one. So
let's hop into the fucking...
Yeah, jump into it.
Oh, damn it.
So let us know what you think of those stories. What the hell is going on? What do you think is causing this? And I would love to hear and see some theories in the comments on the video. Please tell us, what is this? Is it aliens? Is it that simple? Or is it simulation glitches? Is it what could cause somebody? And a lot of times they're found, they've either not eaten for those 3 days and had a sip of water and they still made it 2,000 miles, or they were well fed and completely normal and healthy, and they're found 2 years later. Yeah. What is that? It's just too bizarre.
All right, so what do we got for Conspiracy Corner?
So Michio Kaku talks about the 3 different types of civilizations. The physicist Michio Kaku, he's one of the string theorist guys.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's its own topic, string theory. So silliness. But so he believes, every podcast or interview he's ever done, he brings this up. It's his favorite thing to say. Okay. There are 3 types of civilizations. There is a type 1 civilization. This is a civilization that controls its environment, controls the planet that they live on.
All right.
There is a type 2 civilization.
I don't want to hear anymore.
This is a civilization that can harness the power of a star.
Is this how he talks?
This is how he talks about it. Yeah, and it's always the same. I've just heard him say it so many times. It's like
it's stuck in
he's like, so there's a type 2 civilization. This is a civilization that not only now can control the weather and control their planet, but can control a star, can harness the power of a star. Then there's a type 3 civilization.
The sun will shine on us again, brother.
This is Star Wars. Intergalactic travel, control power of the suns and the stars and the planets around them. They have offshoot civilizations on other planets, and they have full control over their universe and the space they occupy within it. We are, according to him, like 0.3 on the scale, right? We don't fully control our own planet yet. We don't control our own weather to the fullest extent. We can't control earthquakes and things like that.
0.3. Okay.
So he puts us as a 0.3.
Right,
Nowhere near.
I'll take it.
So recently, a type 2 civilization may have been seen by a telescope. And how would we know that? A type 2, as we said, is a civilization that would be able to harness the power of the sun or stars in their galaxy. So I have a video here that explains something called a Dyson sphere.
TS?
1 minute, and I'd have to go to it. Hold on 1 second. 1 minute, 24 seconds. So in order to harness the power of a star, this guy came up with an idea for doing just that, and it's called a Dyson sphere. And I want to show you what a Dyson sphere is first.
Okay.
So this is how you would harness the power of the sun. Fusion is really
ambitious structure in the universe. The Dyson Sphere, a megastructure that encompasses a whole star to capture its power output.
Awesome.
For an intelligent species, building a Dyson Sphere is a technological leap on a par with the discovery of fire for our ancestors.
Sick.
The transition from a planetary species to an interstellar species.
Oh, yeah.
It would usher in an age of exploration and expansion on a scale we can barely imagine. So,
clean energy.
What would it look like? A solid shell enveloping the sun is probably not the way to go.
No.
A large rigid body like that would be vulnerable to impacts, possibly shattering. It would be liable to drift and could crash straight into the sun. A more viable design for a Dyson sphere might be a Dyson swarm, an enormous set of
continue, yeah.
Putting
So this
panels
is a
that
Dyson
collect the
sphere.
sun's power and beam it elsewhere. Such a swarm would give humanity basically unlimited energy, but building it won't be easy. The sun is very big, so we need a lot of satellites. If each satellite is a square kilometer, we'd need around 30 quadrillion to surround the sun.
Crazy.
Even if they're built as lightly as possible, we need about 100 quintillion tons of material. And then we need the
Making
energy
up
to
numbers.
actually put the parts together and deliver them to their positions around the sun.
Okay.
On top of all that,
So there you go.
we need
That's
to
a
have
Dyson sphere.
permanent
So you would
infrastructure set up
create this web around the sun, almost like solar panels in a way that would capture the sun's energy and beam it directly back to Earth, where we would have full use of that energy. And if we could harness the power of a star, we could probably travel to other planets. We'd be able to, harness the power of the electron and maybe go light speed travel or better. So who knows? That's the type 2 civilization can control this. So I've got another video. This is from MSNBC. They're reporting that there have been stars seen with some technology surrounding the stars that could be Dyson spheres, harnessing the energy of these stars. They're not ours. That would allude to a type 2 civilization being nearby. So this video has no timestamp. You can start from the beginning.
I made a Dyson sphere once.
There you go. Whatever that means.
I don't know.
At least 7 stars. A group of researchers say they've identified at least 7 stars that might be surrounded by super advanced alien megastructures known as Dyson spheres.
7?
Yes,
Oh, shit.
I said alien structures, and I know what you're thinking, but just stay with me here, because the basic idea was this. Superior intelligent life might build big structures around their home stars or planets as a way to harness or reuse that energy. A 1960s physicist who came up with this idea, Freeman Dyson, argued that if these structures existed, there'd be so much energy that human scientists on Earth could probably spot it because it would emit a lot of infrared radiation.
Right.
So in this new study, researchers say they found 7 sources glowing in the infrared, those are their words, but couldn't find an obvious explanation for why these sources are glowing so much, which could mean they're Dyson spheres or something else entirely. And what I'm saying is, what? Space is so crazy. I wish I understood better.
Right?
So let's talk to a scientist to help wrap our heads
so
around
that
this.
she ends up
Joined
talking
now
to a
by
scientist
Professor
who
Dale
dives
Levin,
into
who's an
this and what this could mean.
author
But
of the book, Black Hole
we
Survivors.
can talk about this. So what does this mean if we've actually seen alien technology harnessing the power of another star nearby, 7 stars? That would be of huge consequence. Yeah. And that's why it's conspiracy corners, because it's not confirmed, but all of the signs are there, right? That there's some technology being used here that we can't identify, emitting a lot of radiation and heat, and we don't know why. And it looks to be some sort of structure around these stars, which is exactly what Dyson predicted we would do to harness its power.
Dyson.
Yeah, Miles Dyson. Yeah. It's because he found a piece of it.
Yeah.
That's from the future.
Yeah.
He knew.
It was a hand.
Yeah. And he just breathed real heavily.
Yeah.
Yeah,
holding the
for
thing.
10 minutes.
Yeah. 10 minutes. That'd be the worst scene.
It was. It was like 10 minutes
It was
long.
like 10 seconds.
And you're like, oh my
10
gosh.
seconds was too long.
Miles, die already.
Miles, die, son.
Yeah. There you go.
All right. So Dyson spheres, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking what?
What do you think? Is it possible? Do you think they're seeing something else? Or do you think this is, do you think there's an alien civilization nearby? Does it make sense that this is possible, or just craziness?
Yeah. It's possible.
Why not?
Obviously it's possible, right? Yeah. So that's a trip. I don't know. What do you think?
That's kind of scary. If they're super close and they've harnessed 7 stars, we would stand no chance.
No, well,
of any. If there were any conflict, if they decided,
I feel like that. Oh, like regardless. Before you showed me this, I felt. I always feel like.
What about the Black Hawk satellites? I don't know what you're talking about.
He's talking about the what's it called? The black satellite.
No, I don't think so.
Huh?
That's not what it's called. So he's talking about something else.
What's it called?
The Black Knight.
Yeah, that's what he said.
He said Black Hawk.
You know what he means.
Oh, maybe that is what he's talking about. The Black Knight satellite. Yeah, I think that's from just a previous civilization. They launched into orbit. It's probably a time capsule of some kind.
I think it's space junk.
Yeah.
Or not, I don't fucking know a goddamn thing. No, I think it's space junk. I think it's something that was, it's an asteroid that was kicked off of a fucking.
Doesn't look like an asteroid, and it has radio transmissions coming off of it and other things that we've picked up, like chatter. Like
says who?
Tesla.
I don't trust Tesla.
Probably one of the best sources.
He's dead.
Yeah, that's what he said. That he was picking up radio transmissions from this satellite, and that it was sending it off somewhere else. So some information was being sent to it from Earth. And it was being sent out into a certain constellation.
So wait, what does the 7 suns? Explain that part again. I want to.
So they found 7 stars.
7
that
stars.
seem to have these megastructures around them that would be harnessing their power. So it would be harnessing its power to power something, either a civilization or a fleet or something that would need a lot
Where
of power.
did they find these 7 suns?
Just with telescopes looking way out into the cosmos.
And how could you tell that's...
They were saying that there's a certain type of radiation that you would pick up.
Test radiation?
And heat from, the different filters that they use. There's this certain type of radiation and heat that would be coming off of this material if it was storing and gathering energy from the sun. We know what stars look like on telescopes, but then we find 7 that seem to have something around them that is taking power from it, drawing power from it. Potential.
Okay.
Yeah. So they don't look like other stars. There's something around them.
Yeah, it's possible. I don't know how plausible, but yeah. Okay. What else would it be? What do you think if it's not alien shit? What else? What are we talking?
I mean, we know so little about the. Is it
everything?
What's different about these stars? What makes them special?
They have a thing of radiation around them.
Yeah, but that's not enough. We've seen too many
Saturn
stars.
has a ring, a thing around it. It's a planet. but
Yeah,
it's
that's obviously if it was something that simple, they wouldn't be making this claim, right? If it was something that they could
I'm just
easily
saying,
dismiss.
shit looks different in space, man.
We've seen a lot of stars. We've been doing this for a long time, and something about these are obviously giving off some sort of hint of technology, and that's why it's a big deal. Is we might have finally seen something. If aliens are out there, they're not using radio waves. It's just not happening.
Who the hell's trying to get into my home? No, all right. Yeah, good conspiracy corner, dude. I love it.
Yeah.
Very
So
fun.
yeah, to that
Interesting
point,
stuff.
I mean, that's what we're trying to use to pick up
pretty wild stuff.
alien
Curious.
civilization.
Thanks, Phyllis. Well said. Well said. So I think that's it. We talked about Kenny Cope, who's are you terrified of that man like I am?
Yeah, I think those guys are dangerous for
Dude,
sure.
They're so dangerous.
Yeah.
Like, hey, be religious, love your religion,
Yeah.
spread the love, spread the joy. I don't even care about that.
Yeah.
But dude, when you're a charlatan, when you're like, hey, I don't care if you're poor. If you only have 2 dimes,
Make
give
sure
one
I
of
get
them to
half of
me.
it. Yeah, it's rough.
And it's not like give one of them to God, and they use the word tithe. Like, then if you have 2 dimes, use one of them to tithe. No, you mean if you have 2 dimes, you broke bitch. I want half of what you have.
Shouldn't he be like building them a house or something? Like that's kind of
Do anything philanthropic.
Yeah, that's like the point of this.
He thinks it is enough for him to go out and preach God's gospel.
Yeah,
he's doing more.
He's
than
one of
enough.
those guys. Yeah, those
He's
guys
a fucking pig.
Bother me. Yeah,
Anyway, he's disgusting. So I talked about him. You talked about these amnesic.
Missing people. And like I said, that's 3 cases, at least a couple 100 miles away in each case, and a lot more than that in one of them.
So creepy, so crazy.
Yeah, it's just 3 of dozens.
I love it. It was good stuff. Very well researched. Very good stuff.
Yeah, it's fun stuff. I love the missing 411 stuff.
Yeah, I like the Dyson Sphere too. That's wicked shit.
We'll find out soon enough what it is.
From Jared.
Yeah, thank you again to the chat. It's sweet of you guys, everybody that donated and that participated in the conversation.
Felicity, Given Life, Chase. Oh yeah, that's easy.
Tell us what you think about these topics. I want to know what you think about the missing people. What do you think about this preacher and what we heard from the chat? Let's hear from the comments. Let us know. Give us some feedback. Tell us what topics you like to hear about. We could do more of that. And we'll see you on the TikTok in a few.
Yep, everything he said. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. It's crazy not to subscribe. And then, we have videos coming out as we always do. And he knows what he's doing. Hell yes, he does, Felicity. But guys, so we're hopping over to TikTok for the after show. It's very personal where we can just talk about whatever we want. We can talk directly to you. It's so much fun. So hop on TikTok at Podcast Never Sleeps and watch us live. It's a lot of fun. But like, subscribe, and we'll see you next Tuesday for another episode.
Yeah.
Love you guys so much. We'll see you on that Flipper to Flop, baby. Later, skaters!